All right, welcome to the Sae Bae Cast number 9 with Bcguppy. Bcguppy, this is the first. Well, I can't really say it's the first, but you're the first after like 6 Sae Bae casts that haven't been a streamer. So I'm excited to hear from you. And before I say introduce yourself, I kind of just want to like I almost just want to give you the time right now to like really go into yourself. Like who are you, Bcguppy? Can you start from the beginning and like just tell the audience who you are, because I'm assuming most people don't know who you are.
Yeah, so I don't stream or anything. I have just only a handful of videos on YouTube, one of which has gotten a really positive reception. But yeah, so I'm BC Guppy. I've been playing old RuneScape for like almost 6 years now. I'm a super old Ironman account, a really prestigious account at this point. I'm pretty proud of it. Um, but yeah, people mostly know of me in the community as like the theory crafter, the guy who comes up with cool new methods for stuff. And yeah, I just like occasionally like I'll just see like, oh, this method that no one's done before is really sick. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube, and people are like some of the methods I've come up with are used even today. Like just throughout my whole Ironman history of just going to different bosses and getting the drops, I've come up with all sorts of different methods. So yeah, and I know Sabe, you've described me as the brain, one of the
Yeah.
brains in the community. So I'm a big calcer. I do all kinds of calculations, like doing DPS comparisons. Uh, I Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about me other than
Yeah,
that. Sorry, if I was to classify myself like between like a PVM or a skiller or a PvPer, like I'm definitely not a PvPer because like imagine PvPing on Iron Man, Omega lol. But yeah, I'm mostly a PVMer. Definitely not a skiller. I don't think 200 mils are good at all for my account. I actually think getting 200 mil in a skill is detrimental because after you get 200 mil in a skill, like you get those gross like canceled out XP drops.
yep.
Dude, those are so cringe. Like just hitting nightmare pillars or like trying to fight back on an Iron Man. Like I hate seeing those XP drops. So whenever possible, I try to avoid 200 mil XP.
Yeah, you
Although
you
sometimes
you
like you
definitely
can't
have to like
avoid it.
not be into ranks to play your account in such a way, because like people get obsessed with ranks. It's the same thing Vaddy told me, where he's like he went for 200 mil thieving just because of the ranks almost, and then it just kind of made his account like, I don't know, it put his account in a weird position where he can't do certain methods now and stuff, because he does go for 200 mils, so it's like,
All those skills where you train multiple things at
yeah,
once.
like swimming became like not a thing, even though it was like EHP, because he had just taken out thieving. Like I can understand going for ranks because it would be cool, but like at the same time, it's always going to be better for your account to just not go for specific 200 mils initially.
We all know the leaderboard that truly matters on an iron is elite clues done anyway, right?
Oh yeah,
So
100%. We all know
that
that.
that's the true leaderboard that shows how much of a gamer you are. But yeah, like leaderboards, like I don't really see like going for leaderboards as like that prestigious because what it boils down to is like whoever just plays the most, right? Like
Yep.
like you could be like you could literally have like a max cheese cape and still be rank one just because you played the most. Like you could be. I don't want to sound elitist or anything, but and I know some people they do wear their cheesecake, their max cheesecake with pride. But yeah, like leaderboards for the most part, I feel are just whoever puts in the most time.
Well, it definitely is that, but I can see, I still find that impressive, regardless of skill level or not, to put in that much
Oh yeah,
dedication.
absolutely.
There's always like, I don't know. I would say though, putting in time, because people can always bring up the argument, oh, it's like you don't have obligations, so that's the reason like you're good. But like it still takes a lot of mental strength to be able to play this game like, 16 hours a day and
Absolutely.
just
And
getting
actually, I
games.
have a mini rant on that topic. So, rank one overall for mains, like Lynx Titan is at the top,
Yep.
and rank two is Hey Jace, like right?
Yeah.
He was the second to
Yep.
200 ml, right? I'm really sad that Link's Titan exists because the problem I have with Link's Titan is he doesn't stream like at all, like no YouTube presence, no online presence to speak of. Like he doesn't I mean, maybe he talks to like some members of the high level community on the side, but he has so little like just social media presence in the community that I think it's really sad that he ended up being rank one and not Hey Jace, because Hey Jace is like the dude streams like every day, it
Yeah.
seems. Like
No.
he's
Yeah, he
really
does.
active in the community and he does other things other than skilling. Like he's really passionate for the game. Link's Titan on the other hand, I feel like he just got like 200 mil all, and then it's just instantly just gone, like quit. Like, do you know what he's up to nowadays? Because I have no idea.
Nobody has any
And
idea.
if Hey Jace was rank one, like we would have a really like a decent sort of personality for rank one that you could look up to. Like I know people used to look up to Zezima back in the day,
Yeah.
and he's a pretty good person to look up to. All things considered. Like Zezima used to be the god of the game,
Yeah.
and like we could learn about him if we really want to. Like he's shown like his face and stuff online, but like no one knows what Link's Titan looks like. No one knows what he's done. Like he could be dead for all we know, and no one would know because just he doesn't talk to anybody and he has no social media presence. I wish Hey Jace was rank one,
That's
and I wish Link's
actually
Titan didn't exist.
that's actually such an interesting point. I've never thought about that. Because people do love like just the world in general loves a personality, like a rank one that has like a personality and has a very strong online presence. People love that. And the fact that Hey Jace has always only been able to rep number two. And
If anything else, I just appreciate that Hey Jace still plays. Like
oh, and he games
like
hard, like he games hard as hell still. Dude, the man, like, he does. Okay, he's a main, so get like, he's got like he's definitely got like the easiest methods to get this, but the man does different content every single day, and every single Sunday somehow he miraculously comes out with like 370 hard clues to open, like every single week. Like
I had no idea. That's really cool. I
he
don't watch his stream at all, but that's really cool.
dude, he games so hard. Imagine getting 200 mil all and then like gaming
Not
just as hard
burning.
right after. Like
You've heard of post max syndrome?
Jesus Christ, dude. I don't. Yeah,
Post 200 mil syndrome has to be so much worse.
I know, dude. Like the man doesn't gain XP. Like there's no XP anymore. It's like pets and collection log, and you got to be just so like a normal player's just got to be so toasted. You got to be so fucking toasted at that
Dude,
point.
imagine the year is 2026, like Hey Jace is still playing, and the dude's like grinding like catacomb barraging just to get that jar of darkness on the collection log. Like he's the dude that's like, all right, let's just grind 3 years, and we're gonna get that jar of darkness, boys.
Dude,
Let's get it.
that's the beauty of like just I know this sounds like an ode to Hey Jace, but like seriously, the man, he is like a true gamer. Just a true gamer. He just won't stop. Like he keeps going.
Yeah,
He's
I
like the
respect it a
epitome. He's
lot.
like the epitome of just like you can watch him and just understand like, hey, this is a gaming environment. There's no bullshit zone. This is like you fucking come here and you game. And even after you've completed arguably completing even if you've completed the game arguably, you still keep going and you go beyond the game.
I like the people that push new boundaries. I'm a big fan of like what you're going for right now. The whole 600,000 Saragnas. I'm so excited because okay, so the thing about that, like you have people that do these weird grinds, but not at like the top. Do you know about that dude who made like 1 million Earth runes in free to play?
Is that the ultimate Iron Man that's
No,
doing that?
he was just free to play. Um, he didn't even use alts or anything to like run him essence. Like the dude just like I don't know why. I think he did astrals in members, and then like finished that, and then he moved on to Earth runes. Just
In free to play, just as a free to play account, or
yeah,
as a
yeah.
member. Are you talking about as a member or just
On a different account. Like he has a free to play account, and
okay?
he just crafts Earth runes all day. And the dude's crafted over a mil Earth runes. And by the way, this dude he used rune essence instead of pure essence. He lost so many mils from using rune essence instead of pure essence, and there's literally no downside to using pure essence at all. But
Can
but
you? But you
anyway,
can't use pure essence in free to play. Aren't they
you
members?
can you can.
You can use Peter Essence?
I believe so.
Now I'm
Imagine
curious.
imagine me like advertising myself as the brain of the community and then like getting like the first like tidbit of info
Wait, let me see.
wrong.
Let me see. Let me see.
Like I dude, please fact check me on
I'm
that.
I'm fact checking right now because now I'm curious. I thought I always. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely free to play as well. I was wrong.
All right, yeah. So the dude used rune essence for like his whole grind. But yeah, the dude like he spent like 10 hours a day just crafting earth runes. And anyway, my point being is that he crafted all these earth runes. It took him so many hundreds of hours. Imagine if those hours went to like a really like sick like Iron Man, like end
Yeah.
game sort of thing. Like just think of the hours that he could have spent killing Saractus, you know? Like just like doing some crazy grind that no one's done before, but it's actually interesting and people don't question his mental health for doing it. Like something
Yeah,
that takes
no.
like actual skill rather than just like brain dead like Unga Bunga me run to Earth altar, Unga Bunga me click altar, me
That
teleport back.
like to just to like add a different like perspective to it. That is what makes that so crazy impressive. It's the same thing with Kepi 42. You know of him, right?
Oh my God, I
Dude,
haven't heard of that. He isn't he like the Ultimate Iron Man agility guy?
he's ultimate. Yeah, he was rank 1 agility for irons. And he was an ultimate. So we got 200 mil. And then he did 138, I think 136, 138 mil crafting with
Oh
the
my God,
Entrana method.
oh my God, I haven't heard the username Kepi42 in so long.
Because he
Like
just he
I
fell off the
just
face
heard
of
it
the
and
earth.
I instantly remember like oh my God.
Yeah.
Holy shit, it's been so that takes me way back.
Oh yeah,
Holy
no.
shit.
He was a legend in my eyes. Literally, so I made a hardcore and my first ever hardcore, I made it on release, like the second of release. I stayed up 4 a.m. and I was just everybody was playing hardcore. I started playing it. And over the next few months I decided I basically got really into skilling because I was never really into bossing, didn't understand it. And I really got into skilling. I started kind of being a little bit more intrigued by the high scores. And Kepi 42 was one of those people where I see him and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, because you see his account and you're like, okay, you got 200 mil agility. Like, okay, that's feasible. Like, cool. But then you see the 138 mil crafting and he's just rank 1. Like, I'm pretty sure at the time, rank 2 was like 20 mil crafting. And this man's at 138 mil. Just like, what the fuck? And then you realize he does, like, dude, he can't like he can't hop charters like that. It's not possible because he doesn't have lunar diplomacy done. You can look at his account. He was like a 42. The reason he's called Kepi 42, I'm pretty sure his combat level is 42 or like
Oh
some
really?
or like his. You know what, I'm gonna look him up right now because it was
I actually
something.
already looked him up because I was curious. Okay, so in the main high scores, like I can't find his combat level because he's not ranked. Let me check ultimate high scores.
Yeah, go to that.
Okay, yeah, so his combat level was 42. Yeah, like dude, just
Yeah,
fresh
that's
out
the
of
reason.
Waterfall
I
Island,
think that's the
or
reason.
sorry, completing Waterfall Quest. Like, all right, time to go grind out 130 mil crafting. Like, it is really crazy, but I don't know. I want people to do more like admiral goals. You know, like I'm not personally I'm not a big fan of like the super snowflake accounts that
Oh, I'm not either.
just do really strange grinds that don't really have like a big payoff or don't take much skill to do.
But
Like
that's that's where it really gets to the point where it's like it is impressive. And I'm not saying I would ever do that or I ever advise anyone to do it.
yeah.
But the fact that like think about like, somebody that does something for like 5,000 hours. You got to go 100 hours into it and be like, "What the fuck am I doing?" Like a normal person would be like, "This is not worth it because like this is going to get devalued extremely. Nobody cares about this." Or just like you're going to get to the point where like a sane person is thinking, why am I doing this? Just
Yeah,
you got
absolutely.
to question why, because I've done the same thing where I'll do like a goal where it's just inefficient. I'll do something. I'll start out doing something where it's just inefficient. I'm like, okay, I go like 10, 20 hours into it. I'm like, I need to switch things up because this is just not good to do. Like this.
I will say, I'm gonna get more onto my own personal account later, but I have done weird grinds in the past, like actually recently I grinded out full granite. Holy shit, dude! Like, I saw, so we all love champions, right?
Love them.
Like I saw someone wearing full granite. I'm like, oh my god, that dude looks like an actual beast. So I wanted to go grind out full granite on my iron. Like, dude, it was so dumb. Like barraging terror dogs for a granite helm. Like just doing weird shit like that was really fun. And oh my god, killing skeletal wyverns with full ink and a lance. Holy shit, I feel like such a Chad.
Oh, it's
Just like
fun, man.
killing wyverns among all the Venezuelans that are like they
Wait,
have
wait, wait,
mirror
wait, wait,
shields
wait,
on.
wait. Do you have a wyvern shield though? That's the real
I
question.
do not.
That's
So
when it
I have to get
really.
frozen and stuff.
That's when you're a real Chad, man. You're not getting frozen anymore. It's
Oh yeah.
amazing.
But full ink lance, like
Oh
you
yeah.
literally three hit the things, it feels like. Okay, maybe not three hit, like
Yeah,
I'm
but
clearly exaggerating,
yeah.
but yeah, like you kill him so fast. And I remember back in the day, like when my account was still new, like I was RCBing like safe spotting wyverns, and it took so long every kill. It's
So,
like
and
two
you were
minutes
probably
to kill.
let me guess, you were using broad bolts too. Like
Oh yeah.
everybody
Oh yeah.
used broad bolts.
You think I was rich enough to use adamant diamonds,
Dude,
dude? Like
Diamond, dude, okay, listen. I was a big Wyvern fan. I killed 15,000 of them on my first main account in 2015.
holy crap.
I made the switch from broads to diamonds and I never went back. I actually realized it was actually more efficient. Like obviously it's more efficient, but like it was actually saving me money by using them. I realized it was crazy. I thought it was the biggest brain in the entire game for realizing that. And I would watch other people using broads. I'm like, you stupid idiot! Like, why are you using broads? As soon as I like started using diamonds, but yeah, it was a big deal to use diamonds.
Yeah, later on I grinded out a Visage, the Draconic Visage, and I switched to melee later. But yeah, like I got pretty lucky on the Visage. Like it took me like 4,000 or something wyverns, and and getting that Visage, like this was like 2015 or something. Like this
Yeah.
is way back then when like we didn't have lance or any of that crazy shit. So I was just killing wyverns with like just a whip.
Yep.
And the drops were good at the time. Like wyverns, like they were, there was no rune dragons or anything, so the drops from wyverns were really good back then.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, I grinded out a Visage. And got pretty lucky on it. And yeah, it just feels great. Or it felt great at the time getting the Visage, obviously. But yeah, what I did wanted to get into another weird grind, like on the topic of weird grinds. I did 1,000 shade cremations. Uh,
Interesting. For what?
so I think my iron was like at the time there wasn't raids or anything. There wasn't like a whole lot of like end game content. So I needed prayer XP, and I was like, you know what gives prayer XP? Shade cremations. So I went and did that because I was really intrigued with the Amulet of the Damned as well. Like it just
Yeah.
seemed like one of those like out there items, like not really talked about ever, but it
Mm-hmm.
had interesting effects. Like it gave every barrow set like a unique effect, and that intrigued me. So I wanted to do 1,000 shade cremations just to see like how many amulets of the damned I could get. I got 45 by the way.
Damn. Is that rate? Is it like 1 in 20?
I think so. Yeah, they're pretty common.
Yeah, I
But
remember getting three. I think I got three in like 50. I want to say. I think I've done like 50
yeah,
cremations.
it was pretty interesting optimizing it too, because I found that the best way to get the actual like the shade remains that you need, the highest level. I don't remember what the highest level is called, but the fastest way to get them at the time was going into temple trekking and barraging them. You take, what was it? I think you take the hard route, and then when you get you go from Bergdorot
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you get
to the temple,
and the
and the
first
first
one's
encounter is
usually
always
three shades, right?
or not always, but it's usually the shade one. You just go in, you barrage five, pick up that the remains, and then you bank.
Oh, there's
They
five of them.
there's five, yeah. You just barrage them and like
Oh,
you
maybe
pick
it's
up
because
the
I was
stuff.
doing the easy route. I think there's only three on the easy or something like that.
That might be the case. They they broke the barraging. Like a friend of mine was trying to get a amulet of damned on his iron. So I said, "Oh, hey, you can go. You don't even have to get any of the shade keys. Like you can just go into temple trekking and kill the highest level shade right away." And like you skip that whole like progression of getting like up to the silver key by just barraging the highest level shade. But they broke it in an update where it's multi-combat, but you can only hit one shade at a time. Like it was completely bugged.
What?
They fixed it super recently though. They fixed
Okay.
it like in like the last 2 weeks or something. But yeah, it was broken. I don't know what update broke it, but yeah, like it was it was pretty cringe. Like I'm telling my friend to barrage these shades, and he's only hitting one. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And it turns out that it was
Jesus.
literally bugged because they fixed it later. Um,
Did you ever do the 2-tick building?
no, no, I did
You
see
saw
that
that though,
video.
right? Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I had to do like a decent amount of that though for the sacred oil.
I'd
I think
imagine
it's what's
so,
called.
yeah.
Of just I think like I just filled like a flame terror bag and I just used a whole bunch of resources. Like I think your method didn't even bother with the resources. Like you just sit there with
N-
that ring, right?
No, I
Or
definitely I
whatever
still had to
it's
have
called.
my flame tier bag like filled. I mean, I didn't
Okay.
have to have it filled, but like you still need all the supplies for it to do it. But
But yeah, we can talk about like the exploits of Bcguppy later. Um I I could talk about myself more, but I don't know if you have any other topics that you want to get into first or
yeah, let's you know what? Let's just get into the rebalancing of equipment first off.
oh
Just
yeah,
because
oh yeah.
it's like the biggest thing right now, biggest news. I'm gonna pull that up on my end.
Actually, I will too. I'm gonna quickly. I have it open already, but I haven't seen it at all yet.
Let's go
Um,
through it. Let's go through the equipment rebalancing changes. So the one that just came out a few hours ago.
yeah. So if you wanna, do you wanna read the whole thing and then
Yeah,
like just
let's.
sort of ask me for my own input, and we'll
Literally,
just
this
go
can be
along.
like part of the ramble to it because a big. I know Reddit's freaking out about the blowpipe, and they've actually made
I
some
haven't even
additional.
opened the old Screw RuneScape subreddit today. That's gonna
Don't.
be
Yeah, don't. Yeah,
a fun in itself.
I haven't actually checked about after this blog, so who knows what Reddit's like doing. But let's see. Equipment rebalancing changes. Last week, we released the first iteration of our proposed plans to tackle some equipment rebalancing changes that will benefit the game's long term health. If you haven't seen the equipment balancing blog, blah, blah, blah. Today, we'll highlight the main changes we've made following your feedback and provide more information about what's not changing. If you're wondering why some changes aren't mentioned here, it's because we really wanted to focus on the biggest issues presented by the community. We'll list any further changes in a later, all encompassing equipment rebalancing blog. With tomorrow's game update, we'll be opening 2 beta worlds. Okay, so we're going to give us testing, Toxic Blowpipe, Crystal Armor, and Black D'hide. You'll be able to play any content in the game. Yeah, Inferno's open. You get Slayer points. Okay, blah, blah. Okay, Toxic Blowpipe. Feedback to the Toxic Blowpipe changes has been the most prominent, which is to be expected given it's one of the most widely used weapons in the game.
The most widely used, by the way, as I'm close.
It definitely has to be the most widely used. What else would even top it? Like honestly,
Like I don't know, like pre-blowpipe whip.
yeah, I don't know. It was clear
But
that a
yeah,
num- it was clear that a number of players felt the proposed changes to the toxic blowpipe were too harsh. Many of you said that it would make content or current content too difficult, or that we've been designing content around the expectation of players using the existing blowpipe. Before we go through the newly revised blowpipe changes, we'd like to take a moment to step back and reiterate why we feel the change is necessary. It's no secret that the toxic blowpipe is strong. It's one of the reasons why it gets used by almost every player in any situation where range damage is preferable, and even at times when it's not, and it still outperforms some of the most expensive items. Having a single item be that strong for a number of activities is generally fine, but the blowpipe is simply too powerful. There's little reason to use any other weapon if ranged attacks are an option. Adding to this lack of variety, it's also difficult for us to effectively balance around its strength. Its high attack speed means it benefits hugely from additional range, strength, and accuracy, both of which are already high due to the blowpipe's strong base stats. This leaves us little room for adding new ranged items with strength and accuracy. We've tried and failed on multiple occasions. In its current form, the blowpipe's also far too cheap to purchase and maintain to justify how powerful it is. Using bronze darts output a higher DPS than some of the most expensive gear setups available. That is a problem we need to solve. Okay, taking all of that into account and listening to your feedback, we've made some changes that we feel leave the toxic blowpipe in a much healthier position. Our intention remains for the blowpipe to remain a very powerful weapon against low defense creatures, but to limit its power against higher defense creatures. Okay, these are the changes. We add 100% accuracy to the special attack. Is that saying it's 100% guaranteed
Like double
hit?
accuracy.
Is that yeah? That's what I'm wondering. Is it double accuracy or is it a guaranteed hit?
Maybe that's just a testing thing, but I mean, it makes sense to make the blowpipe spec more accurate because it's pretty like there's memes on it, how it never hits, and it would be cool for the spec to get some love.
I almost feel like they should just remove the spec, but I guess if they're nerfing it already, it's like keep it. I guess. What does that mean? Does that just mean double?
That is weird. I don't know what it's pretty ambiguous the way they
Yeah,
phrase it.
and especially because they're saying that it won't even be available to test, so we really won't know. Okay. Adamant dart range strength is increased from 8 to 10. So this is increased from the proposed changes. 14 to 20 and 20 to 28 for dragon darts. Personally, looking at what, looking like down below at everything, it actually looks like a pretty good change. But let me keep reading. The above changes to reduce the impact of the blowpipe nerf, yet remain in line with our original intentions, properly enforcing where the weapon will be used, low defense monsters, as well as creating a bigger gap between dart tiers. As such, will also increase the range level required to equip it in line with the other tier rebalancing we've done. So it's moving from 75 ranged to 78 ranged as the requirement.
Can
Personally,
I
yeah,
sorry, can
go
I
ahead.
just actually you can okay, I'll go first. So I'll just quickly chime in and say so I have my own proposal for what should be done to the blowpipe, and like I just opened my my proposal, and what Jagex has done is really close to what I had proposed, and I've already been doing DPS calcs with the with my my vision for the blowpipe. Jagex's blowpipe change is like almost like completely identical to mine, except Dragon and Rune Darts have one range strength more. So that's the equivalent of it losing two max hits to what it currently has. So Dragon Darts, they get nerfed two max hits. Rune Darts lose two max hits, which is like what I wanted.
Yeah,
But it is a little bit higher than what I wanted. But and then Adamant Darts, like there's a huge difference going from Addy to Rune. Like going from Addy to Rune, you can see it goes from 10 to 20. That's two or more max hits going from Addy to Rune. So I like that the going up from Addy to Rune like is a big deal,
I
and then
think
going up from Rune to Dragon is like also a big deal, but not as big of a deal.
I think what they've done here, these changes are actually really great. What do you think
I
of the accuracy? Just the original, it hasn't been changed, but what do you think of blowpipe's accuracy changing from 40, just the blowpipe itself, reducing, or wait, let me see, reducing it to
it's 60 to
30?
30.
Yeah, 60 to 30 now I'm seeing it.
I mean the blowpipe needed an accuracy nerf bad
Oh,
because
yeah.
the blowpipe with full armor was crazy accurate on stuff like General Grador, like people were blowpiping like Arma even. Like that makes no sense. Just sitting there like in the
Yep.
corner at Arma just blowpiping Kree and that
Yeah.
being like really strong DPS. It's so silly, dude.
Yeah. And you could even do the shield flick. You could pull like a bulwark up, and because of the what's it called, the combat tab, like just in RuneScape, the combat tab where like when you switch to a different weapon it doesn't change the attack style on all weapons. That simple
Yeah,
change made it so you could switch from a bulwark to a blowpipe just over and over every tick. You just,
yeah, absolutely.
it's crazy.
I do want the accuracy on the high level darts to be upped though, and then reduce the accuracy even more on the blowpipe itself. Like take away more accuracy on the blowpipe and then give more accuracy to the higher tier darts, so that like it nerfs the accuracy of lower tier darts more. Because I mean it doesn't say what their accuracy was for the darts, but I think they actually nerfed the accuracy of some of the higher tier darts, which I disagree with.
No, they it shows down below. Do you see that? It's showing what the accuracy is.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that yet. I
Yeah.
hadn't scrolled down that far. So, yeah, they're actually reducing the accuracy of the darts. Like I don't know why they would reduce the accuracy on the darts
I think
themselves
it's
when they could
fine.
just make the
I
blowpipe.
it's
But I mean,
it's so
it's still like the
negligible
same thing, yeah.
in that. But yeah.
What else was I gonna say? Yeah, like I think most of the like the brains in the community, they wanted the blowpipe nerfed and then higher tier darts buffed. And then when the previous blog came out, they were like, "All right, we're nerfing the blowpipe and we're nerfing darts." Like it made no sense. Like people wanted the darts to make it to matter more, and then Jagex is just like, "All right, we're just gonna make darts matter less." But now they've actually made the darts matter more. So this is more in line with the what the high level community sort of like unanimously agreed on was the solution to the blowpipe in its current state. So yeah, I like the changes a lot. I would like to see them like reduce. Is it silly for me to want them to reduce the range strength on the darts by one? Like I don't
On
even know if that
everything.
does anything. Well, they have dragon darts at 28. Like I wanted 27, but
Okay. That
I
wouldn't
mean, like
would that
I
really
don't
would
think
that
it would
change a
even do
max hit
anything.
in most scenarios?
I think it would make divine pots matter more because you're at 112 all the time. I think in some cases when you lose a range level, like you lose a max hit on the blowpipe, which is like huge by the way. But I mean, yeah, I like the changes. Like overall, I don't really have any qualms other than me being petty and saying, "Oh, it's one range strength too high.
Yeah.
Please nerf."
I
Yeah,
think
the
what they've
blowpipe's
done
good.
here is very just good. It's balanced. Cuz
Absolutely.
I already was actually fine with what they had proposed initially just because I was assuming if if what they initially proposed over what we currently have, I would have actually preferred the nerf because I have always thought the blowpipe was just way too powerful. And
Absolutely.
but this what they've done here is they've added an additional two max hits basically to what they originally proposed to dragon darts and stuff. And they've made dart tiers definitely a lot more like noticeable. Rune to Addy's a big decrease.
Oh yeah, and Addy darts were the most used, so
Yep.
we'll see more people possibly switching to rune darts, which is good for the economy.
Yeah.
The more people using rune darts, the better, I
What do
think.
you think of well, I don't know. It's I'm curious that you say to lower the dragon darts by one. Don't you feel like the rune to dragon dart should be kind of um a bigger jump than Addy to rune, or do you feel like what they've done is good?
I think I think rune darts are kind of like underpowered from a main perspective because like adamant darts would be like the cheap
Yeah,
alternative, and then dragon is like what you use for the best DPS. And it's not like you spend that much more going from Addy to dragon because you're already spending a lot on scales. So I felt like rune darts weren't really used a whole lot. Just because the price was like at that really weird stage where it's like if you're gonna spend the money to go to rune, like why not just go dragon?
that's true. Yeah,
And from an ironman perspective, like making rune darts is expensive because that's GP that you could have had on your account
yep,
for various things. Uh, like like God, dude, spending money on rune darts when I could be buying blood runes, like it's just not a comparison. Like
yeah, it's
I
tough.
need the blood runes, dude.
And then they've added some calcs here down below even further. Some of their own DPS calcs they've done. Um, it's a lot to like look at, but
A lot of Inferno stuff.
yeah. I think I don't
Uh,
know. I don't want to go into every single situation where this is good, but I think what they've done is really just agreeable. I feel like it's
Absolutely.
perfect. I was
Actually, let me look at this. So proposed dragon blowpipe versus ruby dragons on Armadillo crossbow. So it seems like if you're using dragon darts, you can still blowpipe like the Jad and the Inferno. But you know what? I really like that people can like crossbow Jads now. Like I like that a lot.
yeah. It just sucked that like blow. I mean, it was always the kind of the issue. The blowpipe was just so much better than every other ranged weapon, just drastically. And crossbows never really got too much love. Like anything that just attacks slower is just shit. It's just always gonna be shit. The only
Yeah, definitely.
Tebow was the only thing that ever came out that was actually slow and really good, which was surprising. But you'd that's why it had that's I don't know.
It's kind of hard to go wrong on a weapon that has a max hit of over 70. Like
Yeah.
Tebow's wild. Like I know you were talking about like the Dragon Hunter crossbow being crazy strong for what it is.
Yeah.
It used to be 10%. Like if you went from like an ACB to a Dragon Hunter crossbow, like the gap there isn't that big, or it wasn't that big at the time, going
Yeah.
from like 0% to 10%. But then they had to make it compete with the blowpipe at stuff like Forecast, and
Yep.
because the blowpipe was so gross, they had to crank up the multiplier on the DHCB from 10% to 30%. Like that's
I
like
know.
people literally like do trail skipping to get the Slayer helm effect for stuff like the Inferno, and that's only 15%. The DHCB is 30%. That's twice as much.
It's
It's
fucked.
crazy strong.
It's actually to the point. I remember when they changed that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like and this is back when I didn't really even understand. I still don't. I still am not like a mathematician when it comes to DPS calcs, but I knew this is just out of control to buff accuracy and damage by 30%. Like,
It's wild. It's so crazy.
and what I mean, seriously, like I feel like I kind of go crazy because I feel like nobody's as passionate about things like this as like I am. But now that I'm talking to you, like what I proposed in in my latest ramble, I was literally saying they should nerf the DHCB and the Lance. I don't know if you watched that.
Absolutely agree. I did. I've watched most of your round. I've definitely watched all your most recent rambles, like going from like 15 to like what are you on? You're like 25 rambles now. Like
27, yeah.
you've been putting out so many rambles. And by the way, big fan. They're so nice to listen to.
Appreciate it.
Like there's something really special about doing like some monotonous grind in RuneScape and then listening to someone talking during
Oh yeah, it's
your grind.
beautiful,
Like
man.
it's so enjoyable,
I love it.
so nice. But yeah, uh Dragon Hunter crossbow and the Dragon Hunter lance, like they're crazy strong. Like the gap going from the next thing, like the next worst thing is just so big. Like you go from like a whip on Olm's hand to a lance. It's just no comparison. Like you're
Yep.
crushing that hand.
Yep. I think it's I don't know what the difference is. So this is the thing. Like some of my arguments I can't articulate well enough because I haven't put in the work to know the true calcs. I just go off of kind of what I see. Where if I were to put some time into it, get some actual discussion with like, and like actually do the calcs, I could actually make a better argument. But what is really the difference between, let's say, max strength rapier against Olm's hand and max strength Lance? Like, let's just, I don't know.
So
Like,
so
is it
the
that
real
big?
defining factor is the accuracy. The accuracy on the lance is so much higher than rapier. The lance it's you add the dragon what is it, the Hydra Claw to the Zamorakian Hasta to make the lance. And the weird thing about that is that you lose 5 strength bonus, which is like cool because like you don't want the lance to be strictly like better
Yeah.
in every way, but you don't lose any accuracy when you go from the Hasta to the lance. And that lance has 85 accuracy. Like the Zamorakian Hasta was like really accurate on its own.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
back when we didn't have like rapier, we didn't have like blade of Sildor or anything like that for Olm Claw. Like it was basically like what you used on Olm for melee was either tent whip if you had the whips, or like a regular whip worked too. But a Hasta was fine as well because like you were bringing Hasta into the raid anyway. Because it's funny, the Zamorakian Hasta is a stab weapon, but you brought it for like stuff like Tecton because like the crush
Yeah.
bonus on it was pretty good, and it was literally best in slot crush at the time.
And it was good for Vasa crystals because you could stab as well. It's just like, it was just a
Yeah,
good
you
balanced
brought it
weapon.
anyway.
Yeah.
So if you didn't want to use whips for your tent whip, like you could just use a Hasta, and that's what I did for like solo raids close after the release of Chambers of Zarek. Is I was just using Hasta on Olm's Claw, and it was like it worked. But the thing is that the Hydra Claw, it took that Hasta and just basically like just cranked up all the, like it gave it 20% on everything. and the DPS improvement was huge. The accuracy was unreal. Like if you missed Warhammer specs, you wouldn't really like care because
Yeah.
you were hitting like all the time. The max hits on the lance are pretty fair. I still think it needs a little bit of a reduction. But yeah, like going from I think rapier can hit like was it like 53 or 54, and then lance hits like 56. So you're gaining or even like 57 I think is what lance can hit. Um but yeah, like going from a rapier to lance, you gain the max hits, but gaining the accuracy was like on a whole nother level. So I think if they like reduce the accuracy on the Dragon Hunter lance itself, like reduce it from 85 stab to like 75 stab, like just remove 10 accuracy from all the stats,
Would
and
that be
then
pretty
reduce
balanced, you feel like?
well, reduce that, and then also reduce the Dragon Bane effect from it from 20% to 15, and then I think
I
it's very
Yeah.
balanced.
That's where I was thinking. And then what do you um I just didn't know the calcs and so I couldn't say a number, but what do you think of the DHCB being reduced from a 30% to 20? Personally, I
I
would
literally had, or
yeah.
sorry, you go on,
No,
go
no,
on.
no, like I was just saying like personally I'd almost even want to go lower, but I still want it to be comparable to the Lance like at Vorkath and
So
stuff.
in my I haven't even talked about on the cast about my proposed changes. Like if you go in that notepad, it's packed with changes that I'd like to implement to make the game like more balanced. But in that notepad, I literally have DHCB going from 30% to 20%. Like that is the solution for it.
Wow.
Um, and the thing about the blowpipe nerf is there's a snowball effect because if you nerf the blowpipe, then the gap between blowpipe and DHCB at something like Vorkath is like huge. Like if you nerf the blowpipe, you should also probably nerf the DHCB, just because like you got to give mid levels some love. Like the gap between going from like a crossbow, like a RC being Vorkath to DHC being Vorkath shouldn't be that
It's
gigantic.
crazy huge.
It's absolutely absurd. Um, but yeah, like if you nerf the blowpipe, what like you should probably also nerf all like everything in the game basically that was balanced around the blowpipe.
I know. And
So
they're not
so
going to
yeah, you got to nerf DHCB, and then as soon as you nerf DHCB, like then there's a disparity between Lance and DHCB at Vorkath. Like currently, it's super balanced where Lance is like it's like the same as a DHCB
Yeah.
basically. Like the DPS calcs work out to be almost like exactly the same for melee and range. I know range currently is like slightly faster, and it's also pretty chill because you pray range and you don't take nearly as much damage as meleeing. Uh, but yeah, like if you nerf blowpipe, you got to nerf DHDB. You got to nerf T-bow a little bit. I know Jagex like they love the T-bow, like one bill weapon hits like a truck, but like T-bow, like it was balanced around blowpipe at the time, so it only makes sense to reduce that gap a little bit and nerf the bow as well. And then you got to nerf Lance because the HCB is nerfed, and then because both the best in slot weapons at Vorkath are nerfed, you could actually go a step further and then reduce Vorkath's HP so that the kill times for max gear are about the same, but the gap between mid-level gear and max gear is lower. So like, you give those mid-levels some love, like give them a method to make money that doesn't involve like these 100 mil weapons. So you reduce the HP on Vorkath and then you make it fair for everyone. Like you nerf blowpipe, you got to nerf DHB, you got to nerf T-bow, you got to nerf Lance, and then also go and like start making adjustments on content so that the balance is fair. Reduce the
So,
Vorkath HP and whatnot. Yeah, go on.
do you think that would even be an issue? Because my proposal was do everything you said. I wasn't sure about Tebow because Tebow's always been something where like I personally I'm totally fine with a nerf, like seriously, but I never saw a place where it was like. I mean, honestly, I'd actually be totally. I'd almost be an advocate of nerfing the Tebow as well at this point, but I don't have that big of a reason to do it, but I still would totally be cool with it.
The thing about the T-bow that really irks me, sorry to interrupt what
No,
you were
you're
about to
good.
say, but the thing about the T-bow that really irks me is the accuracy is actually just disgusting. if you're killing something with high magic level, like yeah, it's cool that your bow is hitting 70s, but the accuracy at 250 mage level on your target, you're getting 40% accuracy. That's huge. 40%. Like have you I don't know if you've done the solos challenge mode raids or anything like that, but
I've
like
done like 3 challenge modes, but
it's
I know it's
it
crazy.
is impossible to do without a T-bow. Like if you've gotten to Vasa without a T-bow and you're blow piping Vasa, you just never hit. But with a
Jeez.
T-bow, like keep in mind, like in the chambers of Zarek, T-bow is even more gross
Yeah,
because
because it
the,
has no
the
cap, right?
cap is higher. So you're hitting 90s on Vasa, like you're chilling, like accuracy like practically doesn't matter because you hit every time.
So if they nerfed a Tebow, they'd have to make adjustments to challenge mode, or
Yeah, absolutely.
would you keep the all the same calcs within chambers, or would you just
So so I think even in Chambers Tebow is a bit too strong, but like the Vasa suggestion that I had, so if you nerf the Tebow, then all of a sudden Vasa becomes like way harder. So my proposal to fix Vasa, just make it undead. Just
salve?
consider it as undead so that you have salve, yeah, and then you can actually get past Vasa with the blowpipe,
True.
even in its nerf state. Like and you could even go so far as like bring like crystal armor and stuff, crystal bow it because it has high accuracy, and that also stacks with the salve, and you have a crazy accurate crystal bow, and that's how you can kill it if you're like in budget gear, and you don't have a T-bow or anything. But just like make challenge mode raids like possible without a T-bow, because currently you go in like Vass is a brick wall. Like to get past Vasa, you literally have to brew to like 121 every time it teleports you
Yeah.
and venge it. Like you have
Yeah.
to
No, it's
burn through brews to get past Vasa in its current state if you don't have a T-bow. But yeah, like you nerf T-bow, you gotta start nerfing some bosses, or even like the Vasa thing. Like it's basically a skeleton. Like it looks undead. So the solution, rather than like reducing its stats and stuff, you could just make it undead, and you're already bringing a salve into raids anyway for skeletal mystics. So yeah, like if you nerf Debo accuracy, then you could start doing stuff like that, and you're making the game better overall because the like Jagex really wants to cut down on the power creep. Nerfing the items that are causing the power creep is the solution. Like the T-bow is way too strong for what it is.
so. Speaking, just going back a little bit to the Vorkath thing, where you're saying to nerf Vorkath's HP, I would say don't touch Vorkath's HP. I think Vorkath gives too much
It's
GP.
already good enough as it
Yeah,
is.
and I
Just
think I think not even touching the loot table, but just nerfing the weapons, lowering the kill or raising the kill times, I guess, would be a good
that would
thing.
be very balanced. Yeah, absolutely. You could go that route too. My suggestion for Vorkath in the patch notes, it was just a small HP nerf. It was from 750 to 720. So it's only 30 HP that you're like reducing
Okay, yeah,
its
that's not
HP
bad.
by. It's just really small. It's not like you're going from 750 to 500. Like kill
Yeah,
time's
yeah,
literally like crazy fast. It's just like a small reduction to sort of keep the status quo. Like okay, Vorkath is 32 kills per hour in max gear. Like let's keep it that way. Like
okay.
let's not devalue like or revalue like irons that have already killed like thousands of Vorkath. Like just maintaining the status quo, but still changing stuff that needs to be changed.
So here's the other thing. Personally, I really wish the Dragon Hunter Lance had never come into the game. Like that's just me. I just feel like the item is dumb. I feel like it's too good at too many places. Even with a nerf, I would almost just say if there was any item in the game where we could just get rid of it, I think it would honestly be the Dragon Hunter Lance, because then they could just nerf the Dragon Hunter crossbow to oblivion and it wouldn't matter that much. The
Yep.
thing is like people think people only will compare the Dragon Hunter crossbow to like Tebow and blowpipe and
Oh
lance.
yeah.
Why not compare it to its counterparts as crossbows? Every other crossbow is dog shit compared to it against dragons. Like it's
Oh
actually
yeah.
just dog shit. So it's like when you make the comparison to other crossbows, that's when you understand how absurd the buff, just how absurd like the accuracy and the damage to dragonbane creatures is just stupid. So
Shoutouts to, sorry, quickly
yeah,
want to
no, go
say
ahead.
shoutouts to Reddit for saying the Lance was underpowered on release. Like
Oh
like
my god,
when
dude.
they originally came out with the Lance, it was 30% by mistake. Like it was polled as 20%, but they they brought it into the game as 30%.
Oh my god.
And then they nerfed it to 20%, and Reddit was bitching like, dude, Lance is worthless now, like 95 Slayer requirement, dude. Hydra's hard, like it's 1 in 1,000. Like they were bitching that the Lance is actually like underpowered, when in reality, like if you look at the numbers, like holy shit, it's crazy strong.
It's so good. And the thing is like, seriously, I look at people going for like post 99 Slayer, like Ironman. You don't ever use anything. Like you don't use any other weapon besides magic and then your lance. Like that's it. Just like that's the meta to 200 mil Slayer is just barrage and use your lance. Like you will never need to use any other weapons. Like why is the lance so fucking good that like Rapier's irrelevant, Saildoor's irrelevant. Saildoor in general is just irrelevant. It's just, the whole thing is just
Oh yeah.
irrelevant, which is sad because it's like, dude, it's because of the lance. I feel like a big part of the reason is just because the lance is too good. If the lance was just barely, and I just want it to be barely better than a rapier or a saildoor or a mace, I think that would have been the perfect sweet spot where it's like, okay, if you're still using a rapier, it's still good. You're not looked down upon for using a rapier at a dragon, and it's like, okay, but the lance would still be just barely best in
The best
slot.
in slot, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
just barely.
But you still had value in those weapons like Blade of Sildor, like it's just the Taub weapon at this point. Like if you want a Taub and you don't have a scythe yet, like yeah, Blade is your go-to. But yeah, like when you're like max iron, like you're going for items and stuff, and you're like pet hunting, like you don't use Sildor anywhere because it's just like not best in
Yeah,
slot anywhere.
yeah.
Like
No, it's what would you do
it
to a
is sad.
sail? What would you do to a sail door? Like, I mean, obviously there's other things we could like in a perfect world where everything kind of goes to your calcs that you've provided in this sheet. Like, but what would sail door just have to stay as is, or would you add something, maybe a crystal armor effect or
So
something
first
to
of
it?
all, the biggest change on the Saildor right now that needs to be made is the attack animation, because it's so bad. Like if you've seen the attack animation
Dude, I
for
refuse
the
to use the
Inquisitor's
weapon.
Mace,
It
like
looks
Inquisitor's
bad,
Mace is
and
like, it looks so sick when you just swing it, like, and it looks like it just hits like a truck when that mace hits your opponent. And then Rapier has that really unique stab animation too. But the Blade of Saildor, like especially the corrupt version, it's just a deskim. Like no custom attack animation. Like if they're gonna do any change to the Blade of Zelda, just make it look better. Just overall, just make it feel better as a weapon.
dude,
That's the first change that needs to be made.
I wanted the sword to I wanted the corrupted. Well, first of all, they should add a metamorphosis to the corruption because I hate the. I'm just gonna show the stream what this piece of shit looks like. I hate it. It just looks stupid, and you hold it like a rapier, like it looks like a Kool-Aid sword, dude. It looks like I'm literally
It's
holding
so
a
bad.
Kool-Aid sword.
It's so bad,
Like
dude.
I like
If I had a Sailor, I wouldn't even corrupt it, because I would just use the
yeah,
degradable
no,
variant,
I
because it's
almost
way better.
regret. I just regret corrupting it. I really do because it just looks way worse. This looks, I kid you not, this looks like an action. I look like an action figure right now that I got from a McDonald's
Oh my
Happy
god,
Meal. I
Happy
kid
Meal
you not,
special.
dude. It looks like a toy I've had when I was like 3 years old. It's so garbage, and the way you swing it makes it look like any other like longsword.
Yep, it's bad. They need to fix it.
I wish they had changed the corrupted version. I know it makes sense to make it red, but they should have made it black. I feel like that would have been fucking awesome. A black Blade of Saildor,
That would
like a
be really
see-through
cool, yeah.
black. But they also need to change how you stand holding it. They need to lower it like a Dragon Sim, and then yeah, they need to change the animation.
One suggestion that I liked for the Blade of Sildor, you know how the Crystal Crown has all those recolors?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can
yeah,
make your
yeah.
Crystal Crown any color. Just make it so you could use those on the blade. Like just make your sword purple if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, there was a recommendation for that. I remember saying that. I think I saw it on Reddit.
Um, but yeah, blade is in a really bad spot. Like I don't know how you would even make it good. Like I wouldn't really want it buffed. Like the stats make sense. It's just there's no place to use it. That's the real problem, I feel. But yeah, like the only thing I think needs to be changed with the Blade of Sildor is just like make the thing look good to use, and just give it a graphical overhaul, is what I say.
So I'm looking at your uh, sheet for like your changes. You never even added Blade of Seldor to it, did you? It was just
No,
okay. I was just looking to see if
I
you had it.
mean, I think melee is pretty well balanced in general. Like all the melee weapons,
Yeah.
like tentacle whip, all of that. I think they're pretty balanced. It's just,
What are your thoughts on the
I don't
arc
know.
light? Because the same thing with the lance is that like the lance is too powerful, it needs to be nerfed. What do you think of the arc light being?
Arclight,
Yeah.
crazy strong for what it is. It's way too strong.
Oh yeah.
It needs a nerf big time. Um, like when Arclight came out, like I was killing Zammy at the time. Holy shit, going from a tent whip to Arclight, like the accuracy is out of control bonkers. You hit over 50% of the time, which is absurd on a God of War's boss, by the way.
Yep.
The accuracy is crazy high. They need to reduce it, especially because they're trying to make Serb a demon, and on paper currently Arclight is just better than just everything at Serb. Like it's better than Tebow. It's better than like even Inquisitor's Mace. It's better than Mace.
Yeah, I
Unless
think
you have
Scythe is
a
the only thing that's better than it. And you
yeah,
use and you
Scythe
use
is
im-
Scythe is a lot better.
imagine just stabbing because that's what you're gonna use it on. You're gonna use Arclight on stab. You're just gonna be
Yep.
stabbing Serb. Like the animation looks like you're using a fucking bronze dagger. Like
It's so silly.
I
Like we
know.
were talking about how the Blade of Saildor animation is so silly, and then the Arclight is
Yeah.
just kerchunk. Like
I
it's
I'm gonna be
it's so silly.
I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so I know how you like the mace animation. I actually don't like the mace animation, the Inquisitor's mace animation. I think the little side swoop it does at the end, it bothers me. It bothers me so much that it does that little swoop at the end. I understand it looks kind of cool initially, and I agree, but that little swoop, man, I can't even show it now because I don't have a mace. God damn it! But like,
You hate to see it.
I hate the swoop. And to be fair, I actually really like old school animations. I like the arc. I kind of like the arc light, how it's just very old school. The Blade of Saildor, I feel like just because the other two different equivalents, like the rapier and the mace, have their own little things. I feel like the Saildor should add that. But just overall, the Saildor needs to be it needs to change how it looks slightly and change how you hold it when standing. I feel like those are the main two issues, but I would still be totally cool with them adding a separate animation. Arclight, though, honestly, how chunky it looks, it just looks like a typical old school like kind of sword. I kind of like it.
Yeah,
Just me
it
though.
is cool that it's got that old school vibe going for it. Um, yeah, Arclight crazy strong for what it is. My proposal, nerf the Demon Bane effect from currently it's 70%, wild number, but it does make sense when you consider the Arclight stats of it basically has like no stats. But
Yeah.
my proposal, nerf the effect from 70% to 60%, and then also increase the sword's strength bonus a little bit, like 7 strength bonus, so that it is losing like a little tiny bit of strength bonus, but the way like I did the calcs last night actually, like I'm working on this new balancing patch that I'm coming out with. But the way that I balanced it, if you nerf the Demon Bane effect and then increase the strength, it makes the Serb situation a lot better because currently, if you have Arclight and max strength, like max gear, you have a max hit of 62 on Serb, on aggressive, but on controlled, it's the same. You have the same max hit on stab, which is like it's really unlikely that the numbers would work out to that, but
Yeah.
it does. And because the Arclight has the max hit of 62 on stab, which is the better option on Serb, that's why it would compete with Inquisitor's Mace. But if you increase strength just a little bit and then made the Demon Bane multiplier 60% instead of 70, then it would keep that max hit on slash. So it's still a good slash weapon. You don't really change it much for slash, but on stab it would actually lose 2 max hits going from aggressive to stab, and then you'd have that trade off where you could use Arclight on stuff that's actually weak to stab,
Yeah.
um, like
Okay.
Abyssal Sire, and
Um.
it would still be worth it.
So a little bit of a nerf to Arclight would still. Do you feel like it's good for Arclight? Okay, here's the real question. I was talking in Summit about it. Port Kazard said that Arclight. Well, I don't want to like speak for him, but it sounded like he just kind of wants an overhaul of how the calculations work in the first place for Arclight. Apparently, the higher strength bonus we're going to get in the future to our players is just going to exponentially make the arc light just crazy.
Yep, I agree. It currently scales like crazy high.
So do you think that would have to be just they would have to kind of like overhaul how the arc light works in general instead of making a simple nerf such as 70 to 60? Do you think they would need to?
The nerf to 70 to 60 still like does reduce the sort of the exponential nature of adding strength bonus a little bit.
That's true. It would reduce it.
It is multiplying your strength bonus a little bit less, but like it would make sense to like crank up the stats on the arc light itself and then reduce the effect to like 20% so that
Yeah.
the
So it wouldn't be
max
so
gear doesn't
crazy later
scale
on.
so crazy. Yeah, like that does make sense. That would be something I would totally consider doing if I was to like look at the arc light again and then try to like calculate like okay, I want this to scale like a lot better so that one strength bonus isn't like 50 max hits, and then arc light would keep in line as we get strength bonus gear down the line perhaps. So yeah, I do agree with Port Kazard for sure. Like that would be a lot better of an implementation.
I want to talk about the Inquisitors set just a little bit because I
Did you
never
peek at my my proposal for Inquisitor?
I was glancing at it. I want to talk to you about it because I never ended up talking about it. It was something I meant to talk about in my last ramble, but I didn't. Is and I have talked about it on different
Yeah, I've
things.
heard you mention that you wanted Inquisitor buffed a little bit.
Yeah. So you were saying point 0.8 accuracy and damage, so that if you're wearing two pieces, it actually would have a slight effect toward really high strength weapons,
That's
which you're
correct.
saying is an Elder Maul and like a God Sword
Yep.
on Crush.
So it would actually make a difference wearing two Inquisitor pieces for the lesser used crush weapons. Like give Elder Maul some love. Like on task, like having like Hauberk and the skirt doesn't really like do a whole lot unless you need the accuracy because you don't
Yeah,
get the
it
set
does
effect
nothing.
bonus where you're getting a max hit. But yeah, this change is meant to just complement like slower weapons really nicely. Um, gives more use to the Elder Maul. We know the Elder Maul needs some love. I don't think I go on the OSRS subreddit without seeing at least one Elder Maul buff
I'm
suggestion.
making a video of it. It'll come out soon about my little proposal. Talk to
I am
Summon about it.
interested to see what your proposal is to the Elder Maul.
Yeah.
I know we're talking about Inquisitor right now, but my proposal for Elder Maul was just to give it a minimum hit of 10%, and like that would be solved. Like if you had a max hit of like 62 or 64 with the Elder Maul, you would have a minimum hit of 6. So if you missed a hit with the Elder Maul, like you got the inaccurate roll, you would still hit a 0. But if you roll successfully, you'll hit between 6 and 64 instead of 0 and 64.
I
And
think
that 10% DPS is actually huge. Like the 10% would put it in line with like it would be in that sweet spot between mace and bludgeon everywhere in the game except for it would be really nice at like tecton or like where where you actually need the accuracy. um
are you in
and you could even use it on stuff like Bandos, but anyway, you want to talk, so
Yeah,
go on.
no. Like the reason I want to talk is because that actually is exactly what I've decided on doing. Because I was talking to GE Challenge about it, and he mentioned your idea, and I had heard your idea earlier about giving the weapon a max or a minimum hit when a successful hit's rolled, giving it like a 10% minimum. We, I was talking to Port Kazard and GE Challenge, and they actually had said that. Well, I don't want to like spoil the whole video I'm coming out with, but they had said that a 20%. And again, this would be using onyxes. So this is a
Degradable
it's
weapon.
it's not just a simple buff to an Elder Maul. It just makes it in line, but it would be a chargeable weapon at this point. I'll get more. The video will explain it a lot more when it comes out. Hopefully in the next few days, up to a week. But basically, it would be a 20%, which would put it. It would never make it better than a mace, but it would be a significant improvement over a abyssal bludgeon, but it would only the thing I'm doing to make it kind of a little bit more niche is to make it only against 2x2 or larger monsters. I don't know if that makes things a little bit too complicated. I don't want to make it just super arbitrary, but I want it to be like a chargeable thing where it's not going to affect any PvP metas because it's a 2x2. It's not, and like it's just the bludgeon will still be better against like 1x1s over the Elder Maul. And like, anyway, I'll go more into it once the video comes out and stuff, and
Yeah,
people can hear.
I'm looking forward to see what your suggestion is.
But yeah, I definitely talked to GE Challenge, and a lot of the ideas had to come from your initial idea about the minimum hit, and I think it's actually really
I've been posting on Reddit about it. Like looking at the DPS calcs, I'm like astonished at how nice it works. Like people would actually like kill Nightmare with Elder Maul unironically. Like
yeah,
and it would be good. Like the thing about the Blood Fury at Nightmare is that you use a charge every time you hit, but with an Elder Maul you hit every 6 ticks
yep, it
instead of
would last
4,
so
so
much
it would
longer.
last so much longer. So you would really have that incentive to use a Blood Fury
I
with the Maul
know
combo.
there's
It'd be
so
really nice.
I know it's I think just overall this would be a very healthy and great addition to the game. Just the whole idea that obviously it's culminated like your ideas have mixed in with it because my initial idea was to give it a chance of a double hit, but it just had too many side effects where like it could almost just become the new weapon for any speed running. Simply just it would be like Ruby spec.
Oh yeah, the
It's
Rambo
almost just like where
effect
you
would
just
be
go
off
in and
the
just
chains.
keep hoping that you just get like a good nice proc, just like back to back to back procs or something. But yeah, we'll go more into that on the video. But speaking about Inquisitors, you are saying a point 0.8, which would, and you're also saying that with the full set, it would be just enough. The 3.4 would be just enough to give the ham joint an additional max hit, which is beautiful.
Yep, shout outs to the ham joint. And by the way, I love that clip of you killing Tecton with a ham joint. That's got to be one of my favorite clips. Just seeing that ham joint just hitting constant, just 20, 25s.
I
And
know.
your reaction was priceless. I love that clip.
Oh god, that was so
But
long ago.
yeah, like right now, it's really sad. Like the speedrunners, they use full Inquisitor for like Tob speedruns, right?
Yeah,
And they do use ham joint.
and it,
By the way, how cool is it? Ham joint plus full Inquisitor. Just that's such a mouthful of a phrase to say, but how cool is that? Like, but right now it's really sad because the ham joint does not get a max hit with a full Inquisitor
yep,
set. So
ever. It will
if
never
you
get it.
want to min max with the ham joint, it's literally better to use like a face guard over the Inquisitor helm
Yep.
because
So
you
sad.
gain
No,
more
I
strength bonus.
as soon as I got full Inquisitors, I literally went to Minotaurs on stream to go
Oh
get
my god, that
and
is
and
sick.
I was just running around with this Inquisitors, and then I realized before knowing the actual calcs on it that it will never get a max hit from the Inquisitors, and it's actually useless to use it. It was made
That's
me
really
so
sad.
sad.
Yeah, this change to Inquisitor, like it doesn't. Well, I mean, I guess I am increasing the accuracy a little bit because I want the damage bonus to be the same as the accuracy bonus. But yeah, like the this buff to Inquisitor that I'm proposing, it just basically makes it scale better with weapons that aren't a mace or like aren't a bludgeon. Just give love to more underused weapons is what my thought on it is.
I think your idea is actually really good because my idea was just give it a 1%, but if it gave it a 1%, then wearing two pieces would give the mace as well an additional max hit where
Another side effect that I forgot to mention is that you increase the max hit of the God Sword specs too. So with Full Inquisitor, it's actually worth it to use the God Swords on Crush because you would be gaining like extra max hits basically.
but
So every time you SGS spec a Nightmare, you would actually spec on
don't
Crush.
don't the specs uh even if you're on the crush attack style, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't they actually aren't they actually set as a slash attack and it wouldn't get the
So
effect?
how it works is that uh, every weapon has a predetermined like attacking style when you spec with it. So the God Swords, they always roll against slash regardless of what you're using, but the stance you use still matters because if you're using the crush
Okay.
style, you're rolling crush attack versus slash defense. So
Interesting. Okay, I never
because the
knew
full
that.
Inquisitor has such nice crush accuracy, like it is better currently to spec on slash with Inquisitor because the going from slash to crush on a God Sword is a big deal. You're going from, I think it's 132 accuracy to 80, and the full Inquisitor set is not quite enough to make the crush option more accurate. Even with the negative slash bonuses, the SGS on crush is less accurate than the slash style. But yeah, all special attacks only have one thing they roll against, which is actually kind of sad in some situations. Like maybe this is something that needs to get changed because uh, good example, Vasa crystals. Uh, like so many weapons roll against slash defense. The Dragon Dagger, it's a stab weapon primarily, um, but it always rolls against slash, and that's really sad for stuff like Vasa crystals because you can't DDS spec Vasa crystals because the crystals are basically like the defense against slash is huge. But it would be really cool if you could actually spec on stab and have it roll against stab. It would help. It would help stuff like claws. Claws do have a stab option, so you could use claws on stuff that's weak to stab,
True.
and the you would be rolling the stab option against the stab style, which makes a lot of sense in my eyes. It also make the abyssal dagger more useful. Shoutouts to that garbage weapon.
I think the
Uh,
abyssal dagger, like I just find it silly that they had to make it the spec reduces accuracy. Just
it's so dumb.
and doesn't it reduce damage too? Just like
Yeah,
damage.
it
Yeah,
does.
it's
It
just
does.
this is dumb.
They're just scared to make it better than the DDS
Yeah.
because PvP
Yeah.
would be crying about it being stronger than
Im-
the DDS.
Imagine like they changed the animation so like let's just say they made it so if you spec with an abyssal dagger on stab, it would do like these two like super quick pokes instead of like the little slash it does. Imagine it just went
Yeah,
just like
that would be cool.
that'd be
Custom
dope.
special attack animations for different styles would be really cool.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that like there's a lot that could be considered.
I think a crush. I can just see the crush god sword. Every like each of the four god swords has a new animation for when you crush spec it.
Imagine AGS on
God,
Crush.
that'd be dope, man. Like
God,
it's almost like
imagine.
you're piling into them instead of doing like the upward spiral. Imagine you're like going into them with that spiral for the
Oh,
crush.
that'd be sick. Like some kind of crazy like Armadillo's like bird
Yeah.
style descent attack.
God, that'd
That'd
be
be so
dope.
cool. But yeah, I bet the old school RuneScape team would do that justice.
Oh yeah, especially
Uh,
now. Like they got so many resources.
I want to say one more thing. Oh yeah, I had a really cool proposal for the Abyssal Dagger spec that I didn't include this in the notes, but I had an idea of where what if when you click the special attack button on an Abyssal Dagger, you teleported to your target. So you like if you tried to like run up to someone with an abyssal dagger and you click the spec bar, like your character just instantly teleports to them and then hits them twice like the DDS does. Like because abyssal demons they teleport around,
Oh
right? Like
shit.
why not add that effect to the abyssal dagger spec? So like say you're like this would have like a lot of really cool uses in PVM. Like say you're killing again like we're using Vasa as an example for everything it feels like, but like you're shooting Vasa with your whatever weapon it is you're using, and then once it gets to the crystal, you just instantly like you spec to the crystal using an abyssal dagger spec. Like you just like you hit Vasa with like a blowpipe, and then like you insta switch to max strength, and then you abyssal dagger spec the crystal, and you just go from like halfway across the room, just you instantly teleport to the crystal and hit it, and you waste no ticks.
That'd be
Like
fucking
imagine how sick that
insane.
would be.
That would make the weapon so badass.
I would love that so much. Like you're frozen in PvP and your opponent's like sitting back, like they're ranging you, and then all of a sudden you just like literally teleports behind you. Nothing personal, kid. Like you spec them even though you're frozen. You just teleport up to them. You hit them with your abyssal dagger spec. Even if it's not as good as like a DDS, you
Yeah.
still hit pretty good with it,
Fucking
and you
dope,
really put
man.
people on their toes. Like I think even if it's not that good, like it's still unique, right? Like it's still sick. Like
Yeah. It gives it like just it's almost like their idea, their new like we'll get into the Arceus spellbook a little bit later, but
oh yeah, oh yeah.
the whole like resurrection thing where you can resurrect enemies, like as silly as that sounds and as weak as it sounds, like it doesn't sound like it'll do much, especially if it's just being used in Zaya. It's a very cool idea, and I like it that they're expanding something, even though it sounds not very old school and stuff. People can argue it's just cool that they're kind of exploring these new
It's
avenues.
unique options, right?
Yep.
Like adds more depth to the game. people like it encourages theory crafting too. Like people think about it like oh my god, what if Abyssal Dagger teleports you to your target? Like people are like just brainstorming like oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, where can I use this? You know,
Yeah.
like it builds excitement. Like okay, the thing about nerfing the blowpipe is that like if you nerf the blowpipe and then you don't like give like you don't give anything buffs or like you don't excite the community for new things that they could potentially be using like it's just such a bummer. Like the community is just upset about it in general. Like there's nothing to look forward to. It's like okay, my blowpipe's getting nerfed. God,
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
finally happening. Like and it's just like depressing. Whereas if you're gonna like nerf something as ubiquitous in its use, like the blowpipe, like why not give some weapons some love and like excite people like oh my god, like like there's all these new changes that like oh my god, I can use an Elder Wall now. Like
Yeah,
just
no, that's a
give
good
people
point.
something to look forward to if you're gonna take away things. Like if you're gonna take away people's tools, like at least give them
Replace them
more
or
tools,
something.
right?
Yeah.
Like yeah,
Um, Speaking of that, let's finish this.
the blog.
Let's
We've
finish
been
the blog.
halfway
Yeah,
in the blog.
we've been. Yeah,
We haven't even
let's
gone through the whole blog yet.
we covered like 90% of it, which was the blowpipe. But
Oh,
let's finish off. I'll just finish reading like up until because I have a few more passionate things I want to talk about on this. Okay. Filling the gaps. With the proposed changes to the toxic blowpipe, there is a clear gap to fill for a ranged weapon that excels against high defense creatures. We still intend to increase the bonus damage offered with the full crystal armor from 15 to 20%, but we know that even this buff does not compete enough to be considered a replacement to the blowpipe. We discussed increasing both the bonus damage and accuracy of the full crystal armor set even further, but we'd really need to go big on the numbers. In order for the full set to be competitive, it would need to provide approximately 40% damage and 50% accuracy instead of 20 damage and 30% accuracy. And that would in turn lead us into the problem of a tier 70 ranged weapon being stronger than its requirements, even when considering requiring crystal shards to maintain. Yeah, like a 4-tick weapon, you need to. It's the same thing they did with the DHCB, a 30% shit just to compete with how quickly a blowpipe can attack. We've seen that. Another popular suggestion was to split the toxic blowpipe into multiple versions. The newly proposed blowpipe and another created by adding an attachment or upgrade to restore it to its current state. This is something we already considered internally when we started our work on the equipment rebalancing changes, but despite the increased expense, we'd ultimately be left with the same issues as the current blowpipe has, having a single item dominating the ranged meta with little room for variety. We think there's a definite gap to fill, but feel it would be better to offer an upgrade to the crystal bow or a different weapon entirely in the future, as we'd then be able to increase its requirements accordingly. We welcome your feedback on this. Okay. Personal bests. Well, what do you think? I mean, there's not really much to talk about there, but
I have a couple things to say. So imagine the outrage of the community. So they just nerfed the blowpipe, right? And then a week later it's like raids 3 rewards, and then like the first thing is like a new blowpipe, or actually like something like a blowpipe that fires knives, for example.
yeah,
Like imagine how salty the community would be if they if they nerf the blowpipe and then they're like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, if you do raid 3, you could get this rare item that's the same as the old blowpipe. Like that'd be so lame.
yeah. No,
That would be so
I
lame
don't
if
think
that.
they're doing that, and I've heard arguments about that. Like people are just really crying because they're nerfing the blowpipe, and then they're just assuming they just want to give a better blowpipe later, but just replaces what it is, and I think they're trying to get away from those 2-tick weapons because they're just too overpowered. Like just I don't know, like a 2-tick weapon
It
is
is
just
pretty
crazy,
strong, yeah.
and it's hard to balance it in the future. It's kind of funny you thought of the knife thing, like throwing knives. I always thought it would be cool if they came out with like a shotgun blowpipe that just spews out
Oh my
nails,
god.
like rune nails, dude, just flying nails at opponents. Imagine that.
That would be that'd be sick.
You accidentally inhale and just insta KO yourself.
Oh hey, proposed blowpipe nerf. You have a 1% chance of venoming yourself. Like
Yeah, for
imagine that.
real. That'd be cool. Unless you're using a SERP, buff the SERP, dude.
Oh,
Okay,
true,
we
true.
got to get further into this because I'm still bothered at a certain few things. Because
You want to go further in the blog?
yeah, just
I have one more thing I want to say.
go ahead, go ahead,
This
go
will be
ahead.
quick. This will be quick. So the crystal bow. So the issue I have with the crystal bow and the crystal armor is that the crystal armor, like it's like you said with the DHCB thing, like they have to really like crank up the percentages on the crystal armor, and then at that point, like the issue with the crystal armor is that you have to wear the full set to like really get the most effect out of it,
Yep.
and that doesn't have any like like you can't use a Slayer helm with that, like you
Correct.
can't.
Yep.
So crystal bow like immediately like never useful with a Slayer helm, and we know like okay like slayscape, like you slay like everything in the game pretty
Yep.
much except for raids. But it would be nice if they like looked at the crystal bow itself, and they did suggest it. Like I like that they're thinking about buffing the actual crystal bow itself because it needs to be
Yeah,
buffed.
they are talking
Like
about that.
the crystal armor, like you don't even have to change it. Just make the base version of the crystal bow better. Just make the crystal bow by itself like on a Slayer task useful without the armor, and then you have a good setup going.
I agree. I in before a bunch of PKers say no, that's gonna make ragging worse in the wilderness. People just bring crystal bows out
Dude,
there.
do people really still use a crystal bow to rag? Like,
I don't fucking know, dude. I try to stay out
God,
of there as much as possible. I completed all
man, it's
wilderness
so hard to
weapons.
balance weapons because you have to consider like, oh yeah, PvP, like
God.
like oh Elder Maul 10% min hit, like oh, it's
Yeah.
crazy good for risk fights, bro. Like it
Yeah.
sucks that PvP exists,
That's why the two by
and
two, as arbitrary as it is to say to put that in there, it eliminates any sort of PvP issues.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Uh, yeah, we can go on. I don't want to keep going. Like we're never gonna finish this blog if I
Yeah.
keep
No, we could
going
talk
on
about
little things like
we
this.
could go on about the blowpipe for another like 2 hours. Um,
Uh,
in our initial
yeah, go on.
proposal, we did not. Okay, so this is about the personal bests. This is very arbitrary. I feel like the speedrunning community is tiny compared to what it is going to be after combat achievements. So it's a good thing they're doing
Oh
all
yeah.
this balancing now, which is, if they're going to balance it, it's good to do it now rather than later because speedrunning, there is a niche community for it, and there's going to be probably people that are butthurt. But let me read this. In our initial proposal, we did not touch on how we'd approach already obtained personal bests for boss kill times. Given the changes we're proposing will likely cause some of these items to be unobtainable for a good while. Or these times. Did I say items? These times to be unobtainable. At least until new equipment is introduced into the game. We'd like your thoughts on how we approach this. Our options are reset all current personal best kill times, making everyone start fresh from the changed values, store all current personal best times and mark them as pre-balance, and then reset them. Leave all current personal best kill times as they are. I'll just say quickly, my idea is the third one. I don't even care.
Yeah, just leave them. Like
Yeah.
doesn't matter that much.
There's always gonna be power creep in this game. This is like the one time things
Yep.
get nerfed. It doesn't even matter. Yeah, it's not why. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, some people
Like
might have an outcry, but it's
this is such a huge change to like, oh, by the way, like imagine just deleting everyone's PBs just because the blowpipe loses two
yeah.
maxes and some accuracy. Just like one item.
Especially because it's only 2 max hits now. It's not even like the proposed like 5 max hits they were trying to do.
Oh yeah. Like if the speedrunners really care that much, then they could just have a new category like
Exactly.
pre-nerf. Like the speedrunners can figure that out.
Yeah. And most of the time, yeah, like that's the thing. It's not that big of a deal. And most of the time, if you're gonna have a PB, you have it recorded, and if it's, I don't know, it's not that big of a deal. I'll just skip over the rest of that because it's kind of irrelevant. Nate is not face guard. They decided
Uh-oh.
that they don't want to make it 5 melee strength. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on it? That's the only thing. They just decided to not do anything to it.
So when I saw it originally, I'm like, okay, what does the max hit loss mean? And it ended up it actually nerfed Lance more than anything because Lance lost a max hit in raids.
Mm-hmm.
Um because you're at 120 strength instead of 118. I never checked Vorkath, but I mean like you
Vorkath
can
did
use
have a
Serp on
nerf.
Vorkath.
At least I remember Fat Cloud saying that, or it was something like if you had a fire cape, that Nate is not made it just as good as an infernal cape or something like that. I can't remember. This is like,
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was something where like the fire cape, the infernal cape was basically irrelevant because of his helmet now, or something like that. I can't
There's
remember.
some goofy scenarios where like a berserker ring imbued would have the same max hit as a brimstone ring for stuff
Yeah,
like 4CAD. Like
it's
it just works
interesting.
out. The math works out really strange. But yeah, I checked the face guard nerf, and it didn't really change like a whole lot. Like I didn't mind it being at +5 because it didn't really like matter for the most part when you're in max gear. Like I know it will probably matter for like people who aren't max gear, max stats, right? Like that's the thing is that I'm always talking from a max gear, max stats perspective because I feel like that's the most relevant perspective to look at. But yeah, like the face guard nerf would reduce some max hits at lower levels. Um, Also, I think sometimes like currently you can use especially with divine pots, like you can currently use like a just TCR plate skirt when you're slaying with a or not when you're slaying, sorry, if you're killing like something off task and you're using a face guard, you can sometimes use a justy legs because you don't gain a max hit from going from justy legs to like
Yeah,
tacits.
get that
And
extra
then the face guard
defense.
nerf would sometimes like change that. But yeah, like the going from +6 to +5 really wasn't like that big of a deal. And besides, like the face guard has its own perks. Like first of all, it has 3 prior bonus, which is
And
like
no
really nice.
negatives whatsoever.
No negatives at all. That is understated in itself.
I
Like the
know.
SERP has -5 on both range and
Oh,
mage,
yeah.
and if you do Inferno or sorry, not Inferno, like solo CM speed runs and you're taking a SERP, you have to do takeoffs for mage, and it's like God,
Dude,
it's so
what
cringe.
people were literally saying that this change was making the helmet obsolete. Who the fuck thinks
Not
that?
at all. Not even close.
Like
Like
the only
it's
thing that would
non-degradable.
the only
Like
I know
think about that.
it's like the whole thing is like it costs nothing to use, no negatives, 3 prayer bonus, good defense. Like this what? Like who was arguing it would be obsolete? I think it even says here. Let me see. Oh yeah, many of you felt our proposed change would render the Nationstop face card obsolete. First thing it says. Who the fuck thought that? It would literally still be best in slot. It just would probably lose a max hit in a lot of scenarios. But it's like the SERP is the only helmet that compares, and it would just be tied with it, and it costs a lot to use, and it has negatives. And like, what? How is it obsolete? Like, here's the thing with my goals killing Sarachnis, the Nate is not face guard gives me a max hit. Um, in like certain scenarios, I almost wish it had gotten nerfed to +5 because it would have allowed for different. It would have allowed me to wear my Inquisitor's
Ink
helmet.
helm.
Yep,
Oh yeah.
yep, and that would have been kind of cool. So I was almost excited for it. But the fact that I'm gonna get faster kills without this being nerfed is like fine, I guess. But it's like, dude, when this was getting proposed before this face guard ever came out, I was seriously on Reddit like, dude, you need to add something. You need to. This is too OP, and it needs to have some sort of negative. I almost said, or I had even. I have a post. You can literally look it up on my Reddit history somewhere. It says, I proposed that instead of a +3 prayer, it gives a -3 prayer, as in it would be like a corrupted jaw almost.
That would fit the like the Exiles theme.
I know it was, and it, dude, people fucking flamed me for it. They're like, no, like, dude, because Reddit was complaining it was too OP and that the SERP was being devalued. Dude, oh my god, it's like there's just like it's like Reddit so easily forgets. Like I don't know. It's the whole. I'm not even gonna talk about Reddit, but
Even before the face guard came out, like I was still using my just regular helm of Nate is not
yeah,
over SERP because it was
everyone was
non-degradable.
using that.
Like it's a nice helm, no negatives,
Yep.
+3 prayer, +3 strength. It's just 2 less than the SERP, but like honestly, like it doesn't really matter that much. Like the Serpentine helm just burns through scales, and as cool as it is, like using like the magma SERP, like that, like by the way, that item looks so sick. If you own one, then
I do.
props
Yeah,
to you. But
love it.
nice. Uh, but yeah, like I still, even before the face guard came out, I was still using my Helm of Nadazov for stuff like Solo Corp and like solo rating because it was non-degradable. Like
Yeah,
it was just like a nice alternative even then. And now that now Jag's saying, oh, the upgraded version's obsolete. Like even the regular version isn't obsolete.
yeah, I know. Personally, if I were to do anything to the face guard, if because they're making the strength back to 6. Now, if it had just reduced to 5, I would have been fine with it. But if they're going to keep it at 6 strength, I would honestly, it would still be balanced if they made it -3 prayer and they made it so that the magic is -3 or just some sort of negative magic defense?
It
Why is
makes
it plus?
sense.
Why
It
is it
makes sense.
positive?
Like full helms having more negatives,
Yeah,
attack bonuses for range and mage than like medium helms. Like Jagex even proposed a
I know,
change
and
to
they didn't
medium
even
helmets
talk
to
about
remove
this
it,
one.
and they didn't even talk about the full helm nature of the face guard.
Yeah,
I will say like I would be pretty sad if the face guard went from 6 to 5, but like that's my own like selfish reasoning, right?
yeah.
Like it is better overall. The balance would work out better if it was nerfed to 5, but yeah,
I feel like that prayer would just make it so there is an off. There's something. There's a downside to it, you know. People would
makes
fucking
sense.
hate
Yeah.
it. People would hate it, and I agree. But there's got to be downsides to things. Like things cannot just be overall just the best, you know. Like just dumb. Especially now that they're trying to talk about the combat triangle so much, and they don't touch this.
God, that bulwark change, dude.
We're
I
gonna
want to
talk
talk
about
about
that.
that later, but
Yeah, no,
let's
it's
finish this blog
yeah.
before we get
It
into the
is.
4 hour mark.
Okay. Okay, dragon hide armor. They've decided to stick with it, and all of the god d hide as well is going to get this. We only really talk about the black d hide, but it looks like most. Wait, let me see. Actually, is it just black d hide equivalents, or is it everything?
I think
I
they
think
were
they're.
just using black d'hide as an example, and
Yeah, I
they
think
were
they're
just gonna
changing
scale
everything.
like red to green. Dude, imagine a studded body nerf in 2021. Like
Yeah,
that, I could see that being a meme. Like, oh my god, dude, why would you nerf the studded body?
they nerfed the. Let's just say they nerfed the cowl from like +1 to just 0. Just 0 now.
Oh, dude,
Yeah. Okay, so
that's
this
so
is.
dumb.
What do you think? Nothing's changed. Everything's kept the same as they proposed initially. What do you think? Quickly.
Uh, they talk about the combat triangle and then they reduce the magic defense on black d'hide like nothing. Like they just
Yeah.
quietly like, oh, by the way, now it's, it goes from 50 magic defense to 45, which is only 5 difference, but
Yeah.
like
It's silly, but
it is silly. Like black d'hide should like it's a range armor, right? So it would make sense that it would have more like magic defense than anything. Like and it has more range defense. Like talk about the combat triangle and tell me that makes sense.
it
Like
doesn't. Yep. It's dumb.
I will say the real issue with Black D'hide, it's not the Black D'hide itself. Like I know PvP bitches that like, oh, Black D'hide is so OP. I can't catch a freeze with my Zarishian robe. But
Dude, I'm so
the
glad we're on the
problem.
same page about so much of this
Oh
shit.
yeah, the problem with Black D'hide, it's not the stats. The problem is magic. Magic needs a big overhaul. So the example that I've been using to really push for a change in how magic works. Um, so magic weapons, they currently give very little magic accuracy compared to like other parts of like a full mage set. So like the most egregious example is the harmonized nightmare staff, right? Like it's
Yep.
over a bill. Do you know the magic attack bonus on that thing
Is it like
by chance?
15 or 18 or
It's
something?
16.
Jesus
16.
Christ.
You want to know what a water staff is? 10. Going from a water staff to a harmonized nightmare staff, or even like the Kodai is only 28, but going from a water staff to a harmonized nightmare staff is 6 mage accuracy. Like they really need to look. The saddest thing about this is that I never see anyone suggesting this, but you really need to crank up the accuracy on mage weapons a ton so that it matches like range and how range works. Like Armadillo crossbow plus 100 range attack, like that's
Yep.
massive. Like your weapon is actually mattering, but for magic it hardly matters.
Yeah.
It's just like the auto cast that you're looking for really, and that's it. And then some mage damage. Like my proposal is like really crank up the magic attack on the higher tier magic weapons. Like make Kodai one, make it go from 28 to literally 95. like make Kodai plus 95, and then max mage is like even though you're giving the Kodai so much like extra accuracy, it would still be very comparable to range and its accuracy. Like if you look at what max range looks like with like an armored crossbow or even like a heavy ballista, it's like it's in the 200s, but currently max mage is only like plus 170 mage attack. Uh, you should really make mage weapons actually matter more for landing a freeze and just overall DPS improvements. Like you need to crank up the accuracy on mage weapons, and then PvP won't bitch about stuff like the bulwark, like you can't hit it with magic, even though it doesn't have any magic defense. Like they won't bitch about Black D'hide being OP anymore because you're giving tools to PvPers to deal with Black D'hide. Like make even something like an ancient staff. It's currently like plus 15 mage attack. Make that plus 50, and then PKers have a much easier time landing a freeze. Uh, uh, and it just makes Magic in general just much more
Interesting.
balanced.
Yeah, nobody
I'd
ever
never
talks
see it
about that.
suggested. If you look through my balancing patch and like you scroll all the way down to mage, you can see a giant section on what I did to magic weapons. So I really went through like every magic weapon and I gave them appropriate accuracies for what they were.
So
Um,
what would that do? So you're not talking about just that would be it, not like some other rebalance, but simply just raising the accuracy of these weapons.
yeah, there would be some things that would need to be changed, like maybe make some bosses that are like I don't even think you need to increase mage defense on anything because I don't think it's gonna like really
Change any
be
metas or
harmful
anything.
to the game, right?
Yeah.
My idea was to give like the actual like staves and wands a lot more mage accuracy compared to powered staves. So
Ooh,
like my
true.
suggestion was the trident would be like a lot less accurate than a Kodai, or like the Sang, like I have it as plus 50 as opposed to Kodai's plus 95. So you're really giving value to using like actual spells on things that have high defense,
You know what?
as opposed to the trident being best in slot like everywhere.
I want to bring this up because I don't feel like I'll bring it up if we're not talking about Magic. But real quickly, I've brought this up in a previous Sae Bae Cast, I'm pretty sure. But what if you have to tell me? But so you know how like strike spells, like Wind Strike is always guaranteed 2, just base damage, and then Fire
I
Strike is
think I
8.
I think that's only in PvP. I think that's a bug in PvP where if you wind strike someone in PvP, it always hits a two. I think that's just a PvP bug. I'm
Or
pretty
no,
sure
no,
you
no,
could
no, no,
still
no.
wind strike.
I don't mean like it always hits a 2. I'm just saying as that's its max hit is what I'm trying to say as its base damage. Like
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah,
just
it's
yeah. I
really
don't I
low.
don't know about any bug. Shit, is there a bug
Yeah,
going on?
wind strike in PvP, it can only hit either twos or splash. It cannot hit zeros.
What?
Um, it's I don't know why this is the case. You can go test it yourself. Go in like Clan Wars, like bring it all and wind
It
strike it,
can't hit a 1
and it cannot hit a one. It's not possible.
and it can't hit a 0.
That's correct.
What the fuck?
Isn't that
Is it
so
only
silly?
Wind Strike?
It's only Wind Strike and it's only in PvP.
What the
I don't know
fuck?
why, dude. This is some mod Jed shit. Like how did this get into the game? Like,
Jesus Christ.
dude, you gotta really marvel at
Is
the
it only
jagged
Wind
spaghetti code.
Strike or is it all
It's
strikes?
only Wind Strike. It's only PvP. It's
What the
no
fuck?
other spell in the game that does that.
How did you what? Who found that out?
I think it was a PvP in free to play thing. Like people found
Huh.
out that
Oh
like
yeah.
they could make a whole bunch of accounts that only had like level 5 mage and like literally like one shot people in PvP because Windstrike only ever hit twos. So you could like
Weird.
consistently like okay 100 damage if you cast like 20 or sorry 50 Windstrikes
Shit.
all at once. And by the way, this might have been patched. This might be Bcguppy fact check number two.
I'm not fact
Some of
checking it
the
right
shit
now.
that I
Somebody else
say
in the
might
chat.
be like completely wrong, honestly. Like maybe they've changed it in the past, but like that's what I remember it being as. And you can fact check me. Hopefully I'm right because I'd sound really stupid if I was wrong. But yeah, you can go test that in PvP and like in the comment sections of the Sae Bae Cast, just like say that I'm full of shit
Yeah, we
if
need some
you
fact
go into
checkers. I mean, I
PvP
fact
and you.
checked you once and I was wrong, so I'm not gonna, you know.
I would be one for two at least on fact checks if I was
Okay,
wrong.
listen, I need to take a quick pee break. We'll be back in like a minute. Is that
Okay, I'll
cool?
do the same. I'll do the same.
Perfect.
I'll be back
I'll
in
be
a
back in
minute
a
or two as
minute.
well.
One
Sounds
sec.
good.
All right, I am back. Are you? Oh, just me.
All right, are we back?
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice.
Okay, so let's start off, or let's go back to what I was initially saying about the magic spells. Um, okay, so I had talked about this on a previous Sae Bae Cast, where what if, and I want to hear your thoughts on it and see if there's anything like too game breaking. But you know how like air spells are just always shit, like
Yep,
compared to their fire counterparts. Um, what if we made it so so wind strike can eventually max an 8? As long as your magic level hits level 13 for fire strike. So there would have to be other balancing to make it so that elemental spells actually have, like, monsters have weaknesses towards certain elements, like elements, you know.
yep.
But what if each tier eventually, or each wind, earth, and water eventually became as powerful as their uh, fire strike, fire blast, fire bolt, whatever.
What would this entail for surge spells? Because I know fire surge is 95. So like literally by the time you unlock fire surge, like wind surge is like hitting the same. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like as soon as you've hit level 5 or level 95, wind surge would be doing the same amount of damage as fire surge would. Obviously, there's a tome of fire though, so that has.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just feel like it's kind of weird that fire spells are always just way more dominant in every situation. Like, why is that the case? You know, like,
I do agree. Elemental spells should like have, weaknesses. Like it should be super effective against certain targets. Like it's really dumb that you fire strike fire giants, for example.
yep,
Like why not water strike? Like
I
why
know.
can't water strike do bonus damage against fire creatures? Like that needs to be looked into. That's a no-brainer. Like I think everyone would appreciate that, especially with like more tomes coming into the game, like water tome, tome of water.
Yep,
Like eventually there'll be like some sort of wind tome or like earth tome,
yep,
and yeah, but I think by then like they should definitely add weaknesses to monsters. Doesn't even have to be that significant. Just like like oh hey, you can now use water spells and fire things, and then also like make it so that fire spells like they don't hit at all, or they even heal fire giants. Like make it so that you can't
shit,
use spells on stuff like fire
yeah,
giants, because really like it doesn't make any sense. You're
yeah.
hurting
No, it's really
stuff
dumb.
like fire giants or pyre fiends with fire spells, and it's like not just even hitting, but the best. Like that's definitely something that would be
Yeah, that would have to be
really
a
positive.
that would definitely have to be a huge rework. But do you think that each spell being able to give every spell of its category, so tier or so bolt, strike, all that should do the same amount of minimal damage, even though it's
Uh,
I almost feel like because Fire Strike costs more, just runes, that's the only imbalance of it, but like it just simply costs more runes than a Wind Strike does. But it does give more XP, which
I
is
don't mind Windstrike always having a max of two, because like now you're arguing to buff stuff that like you unlock like air or wind bolt, for example, like really quickly. So I think tweaking stuff like the strike spells, like it's not really needed because you outgrow it so quickly. Like it practically doesn't even matter. It's like saying it's like buffing like iron weapons to be like better in some cases than bronze. Like
well, it's not simply just to make fire or to make strike spells. It would just be to make everything streamlined, where surges all do the same amount of base damage, and then they would just have to go for
it
everything.
makes a lot more sense for the higher tier spells for sure. That I agree with.
What would
Like
be a downside of just doing it for everything, including strike? What would be the downside of? Oh, I know some downsides. You couldn't go airstrike your rats to go help you manipulate fishing spots, but
true. Um
what
like
like
down I don't see any downsides to it.
it would just be
Like
simply to streamline, in my opinion. But I mean, you'd still have to get to that level. So if you were level one magic, you would still only be able to hit a two. But as soon as you level up to you know, fire strike, you can now hit eights with. But that would be the cap. You could only hit an 8 with Fire Strike. But that's after you hit level 13 to unlock Fire
the
Strike.
first instance I can think of is like low level irons. They use Fire Strike like everywhere at the beginning, and it would be kind of sad to see like Air Strike instead, because it's just because it's cheaper, right? Like you
But
said,
that would be
there should
like
be.
also that would also be assuming that monsters get weaknesses too, because I know that's like
That is true. That is true. Yeah, yeah. You can't have one without the other. They both have
yeah,
to
they
be
would have
implemented
to
for sure.
coincide. Um, I don't know. That's just something that I've always just found just dumb. That Fire Strike is always the best. Fire is always the best, no matter what. So
The I do have a proposal on fixing how the normal spellbook scales, because right now like okay, so my current problem is that the Tome of Fire is 50% because of the okay, we need to name like the DH2B effect, like the effect of like making it such a ridiculous percentage just because just to make something else like equivalent to it, right?
yeah,
Like the Tome of Fire, 50% extra damage with fire, which is like crazy. Like 50% is insane. What they could have done is make the tome 10%, but they also like make the normal spells scale better. So like Fire Surge, instead of having a base max hit of 24, it would have like a base max hit of 32 instead. And then the Tome
yeah,
of Fire is 10%. And then you're not devaluing stuff like Arcane, Spirit Shield,
yep,
uh, because currently there's just absolutely no reason to use a harm with an arcane.
yeah.
Uh, just because the Tome of Fire, like you need the Tome of Fire to make the harmonized staff
Yeah,
good.
now you're bringing up good points where it's the same thing with the arc light. Just make the base weapon better, and then you don't have
Yep,
to have these
I agree,
extremes.
absolutely.
Yep.
Like plus, I mean, there's a bit of an agenda there too. I think both of us are in the harmonized staff gang on an iron,
Oh yeah.
and God, Winter Tote, like, come on,
It's
dude.
the
Like,
fucking
why do I
worst.
need to do Winter Tote for using this cool ass magic weapon
No.
that, by the way, is gonna become a lot worse with the Arceus spellbook rework? But we'll go into that later. Um, my suggestion for the normal spells is make it scale better so that what my fix was is that going from like every tier of spell, so like strike to bolt, bolt to blast, is a bigger leap in damage. So right now fire strike hits 8, but what is it called, wind bolt, it hits a 9.
Yeah.
Like it's you're using a chaos rune but you're only gaining one max hit,
So what do you
and
think?
it's like
Strikes can
never
only
used
only go up to
useful.
4, or what?
uh well,
Strikes would go 1, 2, 3, 4 for like fire.
no, I wouldn't change the strike spells necessarily
Okay.
because I like fire strike having a max out of
Oh.
8.
I see what you mean
What
because
I'm saying is like it
you're
goes
wanting to
2,
keep.
4, 6, 8, and then there's a jump, so it skips 9 and 10, and then like wind bolt would have a max out of 11, and then it will go 11, 12, 13, 14. You go up to blast. You skip 15, 16.
Okay,
It
I
goes
see.
17, 18, 19, 20, so that fire blast is hitting 20 instead of 16. And then like because fire blast, it's like level 56 mage, right?
Yeah.
So like taking the fire blast as an example with this suggestion, if it had a base max hit of 20, it would be very balanced if the tome of fire was 10%, because then fire blast with tome 22, but Ibon blast is 50, or sorry 25. It has a base max hit of 25, but you can't use like a smoke staff with it.
Yeah.
Like you can't
Okay.
use like
So
accurate magic weapons with it.
let's say just to streamline because I'm pretty OCD when bolts only go up like 11, 12, 13, 14, we'd have to have strikes be like 5, 6, 7, 8 because I'm getting too OCD where it starts
That
where it
that
like
would
it's
be a decent well, actually, that would make a lot of sense.
yeah,
Like instead of making the strike spells like the lower level strike spell scale, like just make it 5, 6, 7, 8.
yeah,
Like I don't think it's gonna cause any problems. Like you have to really look at every like snowflake community, like the free to play PKN community. God knows how many
yeah,
people
who
do
knows.
that. Like are people gonna be upset that wind strike hits fives? Like I don't think so. But
Well, they're going to
at
be
the same
upset
time,
when
it would be nice.
when the what are it called? Blast spells. Wait, no, Death Star. Wait, are deaths free to play? Can't even fucking
Deaths are free to
remember.
play it.
Okay, so Fire Blast is now going to be hitting like 24s potentially or whatever you.
Well, there's no Tome of Fire or like Occult or anything
That's
in free
true,
to
but
play,
just
so
simply,
it's just 20.
but going from a 16 to a 20.
That is
Wait, oh
true.
no, wait, it is a. Oh yeah, it's 16 right now, correct?
16 to 20 is what it would be. Yeah.
Okay, that
Um,
might be a huge
is that the
effect.
best in slot free to play spell? Is Fire Blast?
Pretty sure. I don't know what else would.
Yeah, it makes sense that Bloods would be members, but like I don't know, like if you really want to say like, oh my God, blast spells are hitting so much more, just like look at what free
Yeah,
to play range can do. Like I'm sure
that's
you can
true.
hit pretty high with a maple bow and like addy arrows. Like I think you can hit over 20s with that, surely.
Maybe
So
with
and it's
Eagle Eye.
three
Yeah.
tick. Like it's 3 tick versus 5 tick on the blast. So
Yep.
I think it would be pretty balanced.
No, it would. It would just change free to play metas, and they don't like that. So anything's gonna change free to play meta. Like, dude,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. That's just free
they're
to play.
bitching about the Rune Warhammer. Like
Oh gosh.
oh my God, dude, Rune Warhammer. Like you can have 50 or what is it? It's like 30 combat and free to play and hit like a 30. I don't understand the community at all.
Yeah, like
But
I understand disrupting metas because one thing I do agree with is free to play players wanting free to play to just stay pure, just stay as old school as possible, and I agree with that. Like I value their well, I don't know if I agree with it, but I value their want, like their desire to keep it as pure as possible. But it's just not gonna happen all the time, unfortunately.
I think it holds the community back, like not allowing like the like stuff like battle axes and like warhammers to be better.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
it just holds the
yeah.
community back.
It does, according to me, but according to a lot of people that are actually pretty have put in a ton of hours in this game and choose to play free to play, they're very passionate about like no game change
Yeah,
whatsoever.
I gotta say they are super passionate about the game.
Yep. Okay, let's just finish
Like, keep
this
going.
thing.
Yeah, we're almost done. We're almost there.
We're
We're almost
almost.
there.
Okay, so Din's Bulwark. Again, well, just to finish off the Black D'hide bullshit. Range needs to be lowered, range defense, and I think the mage should have stayed 50 for the top at least. In fact, it could have actually even been raised, but then they'd have to do other balancing, like you said, with the magic weapons to get increased accuracy. There's just so much. If you want to make this a good, balanced equipment rebalancing, there's so much to do. You couldn't.
I can firsthand account for just how many hours I realized I've been spending on this balance patch, like looking through the whole game, like, oh my God, there's so much shit that needs to get changed. Like there's just so much that you could do to make the game more balanced and for the meta game to be in a healthier spot. Like it was staggering how much work it was uh to like to add a something like a magic weapon rework where suddenly like a Kodai it has triple the magic accuracy. Like you have to go through all like the whole game, like looking at all the calcs,
Yep.
like and then you have to rebalance existing content. It's crazy. I don't think Jagex would be able to come up with like a massive patch like what I have because it's so much work.
Yeah. That's kind of, I don't know. Like, that's the thing. We have to make quick band-aid fixes to this game because it's either all or nothing. Like, it's just all or just make simple little changes because what you've
Yep.
proposed, I haven't even gone through it all, but I most likely to agree with every single thing on there. And but you would have to pass like through the whole community to get it like
Yeah.
and then you'd have to put in all that work to make all the changes and then just imagine the game is so different all of a sudden people would freak out. But overall I think it would be a good thing. Okay, let's talk about the Din's Bulwark. Similar to the changes proposed to Dragonhide armor, we feel the Din's Bulwark is just too strong to be considered balanced in PvP. Okay. Anyway, they have decided that there are no more proposed changes and that the Bulwark will be the same as it was previously proposed.
Yeah,
Are
it
you looking at these stats right now?
pardon me, sorry.
I'm sorry. Are you on this screen right now where you're looking at the stats of
Oh,
what they're
yeah,
proposing?
I am.
Yeah.
So
What?
they're going through with the minus 25 mage defense. It's so silly. Like again, like I already covered this. Like a magic weapon rework would completely fix this. If you're gonna nerf the bulwark, like you're basically admitting like okay, a two-handed shield was a mistake. Like we don't want this in the game. We want the bulwark to be useless because like it's
It
already
is
niche
useless.
enough as it is in PVM, and then you're gonna like nerf the shield just because PKers like they want to get a free target in the wilderness. You want to keep encouraging that predator versus prey as you've said it to quote you. You want to
Yeah.
keep that mentality in the wilderness. Like I don't know what to say about it. Like you're basically just taking away tools that people have and then not giving them anything else in return. Like just keep the bulwark as it is and then make mage weapons more accurate and then like it's a win-win scenario. Like people will still be using their bulwark in the wilderness. I think if this change goes through, people are just going to use like Staff of the Dead and
Yeah.
Spectral.
You can't use the bulwark. It's actually
You
shit.
just can't use it. Yeah, like
You would
you're
have
just
to do shield
basically deleting it.
swaps. You'd have to do shield swaps to like every time
Every time you're unfrozen,
you have to
you
take
take
off
off
your
the shield.
bulwark.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Dude, you know what's even like honestly, if they wanted to agree with the combat triangle and make this negative 25 magic, I literally said in my last ramble, make the range defense 250. Like just fuck it up then. Like just make it so if you're getting ballistic, like you're gonna take all zeros. That would go for the combat triangle. If you can't attack back with a bulwark and you're getting negative 25, not 10, not 15, not 20, 20 fucking 5
Oh my god.
negative, and you're reducing the melee stats by like 36 on every single one of them, you have got to buff that range to 250 or even potentially 300. Just make it a fucking tank against range. There you go. Because you still wouldn't use it
What
because
do
it
you
has
think
negative
about
25 magic.
I do like that like crazy high range defense. Like I like that concept.
Yeah, because it
Like
would
I
just
kind of like things like the crystal shield being really good range defense, for example. Like
yeah.
I like little quirks like that. They're
But
nice.
but here's the thing. It's like even as people are thinking like I'm memeing or something, but it's like you're still not gonna use it because people would just mage you because you have negative 25 magic now. Like
Yep.
you would have to actually be so skilled to be able to pull off using a bulwark because you'd have to do shield swaps and shit. Like
It is dumb. What do you think about uh items working differently in PvP, like the bulwark not getting its 20% damage reduction in PvP, stuff like Justice CR not getting the set effect, even though like like who is gonna use Justice CR in the wilderness?
I
Like what do
feel
you think
like
about stuff like that?
I feel like then only then like I am against the fact that those effects don't work in PvP and the Ellie does. Like why does the Ellie then?
Just status quo, that's literally all it
Yeah.
is.
No,
Is because it
that's
was like that on release.
and people would just say, "Oh, the bulwark's cheap." I wonder why it's cheap. It's a piece of shit, especially now. But like if the bulwark kept its set effect in the wilderness, then they could actually probably pull off something like this because it would still have that defense reduction, but it would be shitty against mage, but it would still have damage reduction, you know? But like, I mean, I would still want improved stats. The negative 25 is too ridiculous in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
But I would really love it if Justice Sure and Bulwark had those set effects.
Like why can't the Spectral Spirit Shield like protect you against Smite like it does in the rest of the game? Like why doesn't it work in PvP? Like it's just to maintain the status quo for PvP.
Yeah.
Like why can't we make PvM and PvP consistent with each other? Like why
Yeah.
can't I click the special attack orb in the wilderness? Not even against players, sure, but like against like a black demon, I can't spec it with a
You know
DDS
what's
while
really
I'm
dumb?
slaying them.
You know what's really dumb is the inconsistency of eating an angler in the wilderness, where
That is so
you
dumb. It's
can't eat
so
an angler.
arbitrary.
Okay, so here's the really weird thing. Listen to this. So if you've been under attack in the last 10 seconds, most of the time, if you eat an angler in the wilderness, you won't get the above max HP effect where you can eat above 99. Like you'll just
Yep.
eat the angler and just be wasted. But what I found is that if you are killing a rev, as soon as the rev dies, even if it just attacked you, as soon as it dies, you can eat an angler and it heals you all the way up to like
So
121.
stupid.
So what's up
So
with that?
stupid. Like
Like,
bruise are overheal
yeah.
and PvP is fine with that because again, it was a status quo.
Oh my
Like
god.
what's wrong with anglerfish?
It's so dumb.
Like
Watch
it's
watch this.
so
Watch this.
silly.
Watch this. Watch this. If nothing, I guarantee you, dude, they're going to nerf Phoenix necklaces. I guarantee
I
you in the next
I
like
I
year.
agree with that strongly.
They're gonna nerf them to make it so they're easier to kill Black Chin. Dude, I was watching Abyss. Shout out Abyss. I like watching him. He's a PKer.
Yeah, Abyss is cool.
He was killing or he was hunting Black Chin hunters or whatever. And dude, the amount of times he just fucking raged when somebody had a Phoenix necklace equipped. He's like trying to claw them and he's just fucking outraging. I guarantee you, dude, Framed or some other person's gonna make a huge video on how Phoenix necklaces need to be nerfed. And it's gonna pass because they need to make it
Oh
so
yeah.
PVMers die easier.
Phoenix necklace
I
is
love
such a
how
sleeper item.
I love
Like
how good it is.
like it has the potential to seriously get abused.
Oh
Now
yeah.
that we know what it does and how it literally deletes the damage queue as soon as it goes off. Like that's so insane. You see that clip of who did it? They did a lap around Zuck. Like they did a lap around the whole room of
Pink
Inferno at
Clay.
Zuck with
Yeah.
Phoenix necklace.
Ran
Yeah,
around the
Pink Clay.
perimeter.
He used an inventory of Phoenix necklaces like divine, just chugging divine pots and like watching those Zuck hits just poof, just gone.
Yep.
It's so funny, and the item has like some serious room, it's already really good now, but it has the potential to seriously be super strong in certain scenarios. Like who knows if there's something in raids 3 that like it's supposed to one hit you if you mess up, but you can like Phoenix necklace tick eat it, and then it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Like there's seriously like such an exploitable item that it would make sense if it would get nerfed in the future. Speaking of obscure items in PvP, mithril seeds. Dude, okay, so for those of you that don't know, like I made a method at KQ where you can like basically save spot it using mithril seeds, and like the week after I released a video on it, Jagex like just deleted myth seed or like didn't delete myth seeds, but they removed it so that you could not even use myth seeds at KQ anymore. Like
So
just in the lair, you
dumb.
cannot use seeds at
So
all. Like just
arbitrary.
arbitrary, like oh by the way, no
Yeah.
flowers. Okay, you know
Can't use
why
them here.
that's really dumb? So PvP, they like encourage you to use myth seeds. Like they like that. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to use myth seeds, like move while you're frozen, that's totally okay. They've even gone so far. They give you myth seeds in Last Man Standing. Like
Yep.
they give it to you. Like, oh hey, by the way, if you want to like move while you're frozen here, use this. But PVM, like, oh you can't do that. You can't,
Yep.
save spot KQ with myth seeds. That's not okay. Like it's such a backward ass item. Like it
Dude,
has no place in the game at all. Like mithril seeds are so dumb. Like at least replace mithril seeds with something else because it's so arbitrary and dumb.
you know what's really dumb is like the mithril seed thing is just really dumb when they take away shit. It's the same thing when Sarachnis came out and they took away the mind shield's ability to like null the sticking of web.
Yeah,
They just you
exactly.
just get rid of it. It's like this takes skill, and it's been in the game forever. Like, why are you removing? It's there's other examples not as drastic, but it's the same thing with like Volcano, just getting rid of skill and making it all very easy and just okay, this is how we wanted it. Same thing with like shamans, way like
Oh,
long
dude,
ago
I
when
am so glad I got my Warhammer when I
dude.
did. Safe spotting shamans,
Yeah,
holy shit, it's so comfy.
no,
Like,
it
and
was
then they got rid of it. Like, let's make an awful item to grind even worse. Like,
no, and the
let's
worst
make it
thing is
unbearable.
like the canyon. If you remember what the canyon used to look like, just this desolate, burning everywhere. Dude, they made it like this clean, like inferno, where there's just a fucking square, and then there's a square in the middle. Like
I'm
this, the
so scared of us safe spotting shamans. It's
it's
so silly.
so stupid, man. And you know what's funny is I've seen it happen more and more now, where they are increasing the range of like every monster to 10 plus because they don't want any form of any possible safe spotting. This it's little hydras,
Yep,
they have
they
a
can hit you from
10.
across map.
Yeah, that they can hit you beyond 10. So I was always thinking it would be cool if you could safe spot little hydras with a T-bow, similar to like wyverns.
You can safe spot worms. Like, in a similar
Yeah.
manner, like you can safe spot them just outside, like you said, like wyverns, like you can just barely like outrange them. Like
Yeah.
I like that, and
Yeah,
I
me
don't know
too. And
why
that's
they
an
would take
old
away from like
school.
the baby hydras.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, who kills those?
I
Like,
know.
like seriously, did you know they have a superior? I found this out the other day.
No,
They
I
actually
killed
have
one.
a superior
It
now.
looks dope too. I think it
I
looks
had no
awesome.
idea that it had a superior.
They
Like,
just added
cause
it
like
recently.
literally no one. Okay, I'm sure there's someone like like Mount Karoom only Iron Man that kills the baby hydras, but like I had no idea they even had a superior until recently.
The
Like I was like, oh
colossal.
wow, a colossal hydra. This sounds cool, and that's a pretty impressive drop rate on the imbued heart too. Like,
It's really cool. I've had one of them because when it was first released, I had a Hydra task and I just decided to kill the babies and I got one. They're so cool looking. They're so big.
they had the superior on launch.
No, it was just a recent thing. It was the same with
Oh, okay, okay,
it
okay.
was the same with the
Oh, the release of I thought you meant like the release of like the whole dungeon. And I didn't think of
no
the
no no
release
no
of the
no.
superior.
What
No, that's
was
cool.
what was also given us superior? I know worms were as well, but what were those other things? Drakes.
Probably Drakes
Yeah, it
too.
was
Yeah.
Drakes.
I know they've been adding superiors to like various things that have a Slayer requirement that didn't, like Taroth I think have a superior now, but
I want
uh
skeletal wyvern
oh, that would be
superiors.
so sick, dude.
Giant ass like
Like you're just slaying wyverns, and then all of a sudden like budget Vorkath pops up and
oh
you gotta
dude.
kill it.
Imagine the superiors called it like a um
Oh, that is so
Jurassic
sick. I
wyvern,
love that.
and it's like this zombified. It's like his skin is still falling off, so you can see bones kind of, but it's like
Oh, that is
that'd be
fund it, fund it,
dope.
please, Jagex.
Jurassic wyvern as the skeletal wyvern.
I
Like,
love that name too, Jurassic. That just really has a nice ring to it.
yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, I don't know. There's like it would be cool if they had every single Slayer monster. The brutal black is kind of this weird thing because they just arbitrarily added it to a Slayer monster, so to get Venezuelans
Yeah,
out of there. But like brutal black superior,
it's just brutal KVD.
just yeah, it's a 3-headed brutal black dragon or something. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool if every single one had
Where
one.
were we? I feel like we went on a tangent here.
Well,
Like,
we're done with the blog thing. The rest of it was
oh,
just
thank God,
showing
we're
mech
finally
stuff.
done, dude. 2 hours in,
Yeah.
we've done it,
Jesus Christ. Okay, we got through topic number one, boys. Haven't even fucking.
dude. We've done it. Yeah, we haven't even gotten to any of the like the viewer suggestions because there's some really good topics in there.
Yeah, let's what do you wanna talk about next? We have
Uh,
so much. This is gonna have to be like a part four, man. Like
the Bcguppy Sae Bae Cast trilogy.
literally.
Could you imagine that? Um, I want to get through like at least one like Twitter suggestion.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
okay.
do it.
You know what? Actually, so I know you're the host, but I'm literally gonna be the host here and
Be
and
the
say the
host.
next topic. So
Do it.
Spider-Man 7 says, "Can you talk about if Jagex will ever try again to release a new skill, and if so, how will that affect the game?" So, uh, who's going first here? So I have a big spiel. Unless you want to say something first.
Let me say something first, because if you have a big spiel, let me just. Okay. Um, will they ever try to release a new skill again? Yes. Uh, will it pass? I think the next time they propose a new skill, it'll pass, no matter what it is. I think the I don't know what you think. I don't even know what I think about a new skill. Honestly, I really don't know what I think about it.
Okay, so first of all,
Yeah, go ahead.
a new skill would be like it'd be really exciting. Like that would be a huge update for the game to have like a brand new skill. Like we've had the same skills for so long, and OSRS has been out for so long that it's honestly bizarre that the team hasn't like okay they've tried to implement a new skill, but um like it's bizarre that they're not like trying to like consider any other potential suggestions for a new skill because I think that'd be crazy exciting. Like I know a lot of people would be very excited for a new skill. Um, the problem is that warding. So were you playing the game when warding was pulled? Like I know you
Yeah.
were.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, what did you vote on the warding poll?
I voted no to warding, and
Yep.
I was dude, it was like Trump going into office in 2016. I kid you not, it felt just like it was impossible for Trump to become president. It just felt like it was just impossible. And so it was just a joke in my mind. I feel like it was a joke in everyone's mind that Trump was going to become president. And then he did. I was like, what the fuck?
Literally memed into office.
I would have literally bet my life that there was no way. It just seemed too silly. It seemed too comical to ever happen. It was the same thing with warding, where I was 100% sure it was going to pass. Jagex was
Shoehorned
going to
in.
make it pass. And then it didn't. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, like, we are not controlled by Chinese overlords, apparently. Like, we actually have some sort of say in this. I knew for a fact it was coming into the game, but I was wrong. I would have put so much money on that warding was coming into the game.
So the problem with warding, this is why it failed. So it's a new skill, right? But it had very little integration with the current game. Like they didn't try to integrate it at all with like quests or
Yeah.
anything. Quests are such a huge part of the game, and they didn't try to implement warding in any way into quests. Like why couldn't you use like the warding skill to make like the lunar diplomacy armor? Like you could have easily tied in warding to that quest and like new completions of lunar diplomacy would involve like some warding. But anyway, warding had it had no integration with the rest of the game. It was a buyable skill, so like a buyable skill is not very exciting at all. Like that, it's just really just like
Yeah.
it's not like you're going out and doing new content. It's just a buyable basically, and it was not fun to train. Like training warding was not engaging. It was not fun in any way. It was just a buyable that had no integration with the rest of the game, and it didn't integrate with any other existing skills either. Like warding, it it just felt like almost like a mini game. Like like dungeoneering was like sort of in a similar concept. I'm not really familiar with dungeoneering, but from what I can tell, it was like its own thing.
Yeah.
And warding would have been its own thing, and it would have had its own like unique rewards. But ultimately, like the rewards like didn't really like matter that much. Like the rewards they pitched were really bad,
Yeah. And they could
like
have,
Dragon Hunter robes.
and it didn't take a skill either. Yeah, and everything felt so weird. Like, the other thing is, like, you could honestly release warding without it being a skill. It's literally crafting and magic. Just make it so magic can imbue robes and crafting can make the robes. Like, if you really wanted new robes to come in that bad, it can simply be integrated in
I
those
mean,
two
they're already
skills.
adding new robes with like swamp bark and
Yeah.
blood bark.
By the way,
There's just
did you see the designs for those?
yeah. I was kind of like surprised. Like it didn't look anything at all like split bark. Like I thought it would just be like cooler looking split bark, but
Yeah, like recolored split work.
I guess split bark in general is just like kind of like I guess I mean maybe it looked cool at the time, but it's kind of goofy looking for
Oh, it
what it
looks
is.
so goofy. It's
So
like what
maybe
neck reels
making it
look
look
like.
like a split bark was a mistake.
Yeah, no, they're making it almost look like ancestral now. Like somebody said on Reddit, it looks like slutty ancestral. It's like you can see way too much thigh with like girl characters, and I think I agree. I could probably pull it up, but
Dude, speaking of slutty mage gear, have you seen a mystic top on a female character? Like,
dude,
holy, the midriff, dude.
have you seen
Like, you
tassets
can
on a girl
literally see like
character?
the whole chest. Pardon me?
Have you seen tassets on a girl character? That or BCP and tassets? God damn, dude. Like that's not protective at all. Like that's just
Oh yeah. It looks sweet though, I gotta admit.
oh, it does, but
But yeah, it's just funny. Like you have mystic on like a male character, it covers your whole body, but on a female character, like belly buttons showing up and all. Like it's just funny how they design it for female characters. Um. Anyway, so I was talking about warding being shit and why it failed. Rightfully so. It was a bad skill. It was just poorly designed. Like from an old school RuneScape perspective, like all the terms they were using to describe warding, they were using like viz, and like they were using all these like foreign
yeah,
words to describe warding. It just felt so out of place.
it
But
did.
I'm a pivot here and say that they really fucked up when they didn't expand upon sailing. Sailing, okay, I don't even know where to start. Like, so warding by comparison is a viable skill. It doesn't really have any exciting ways to train it. Sailing has like an infinite amount of content you could potentially like produce with sailing. Like you could expand like the whole pirate like quest line. Like you could implement sailing into the rest of the game. You could
Oh
make
yeah.
sailing like attach it to like cabin fever, like the swing in between the pirate ships. Like you could include sailing into that, into practically like its own sub skill of like pirateering.
Why didn't
Uh,
they ever? Why didn't they pull sailing instead of warding? Was it just because sailing
well,
already
I think they
failed?
did pull sailing, but they literally said nothing. Like they
Uh,
pulled sailing like really early, like I want to say like 2015 or 2016, but they said nothing. Like they just literally went, "Should we add sailing as a skill?" And it was yes or no. And of course it failed because it had no support. Like warding, even though it had like all these fleshed out blog posts, like they really went in and said like how warding would work, it still failed because the idea is inherently trash. But sailing has so much room just to be expanded upon. Okay, imagine like there's a wilderness section of like the ocean where you can go sail out to there and like you can do PvP like with like against other people's boats. Like you can like board someone's boat and then like plunder their hull and like kill the guy that's on board. Like you could implement sailing so many different ways. People don't even realize how strong of
oh
a
yeah. No,
sailing could be. Like how exciting it could be.
it could be amazing.
It
Like
could truly be amazing. I'm a bit biased. I I really liked playing The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker when I was growing up, and like I like and so if you're not familiar with that game, like there's all these little islands all over like the Great Sea, and like you can explore the Great Sea and find like all these different islands, and you can go sailing around. You can like search for treasure. Like you can you can fight like giant octos out in the open water. Like you can have encounters there, and you could just add the same like sort of like general concept to RuneScape. Like you go sailing out the open waters. Like you can choose what kind of activity you want to do. Like you want to like chartering, like looking for islands that are undiscovered. Okay, first of all, I so I want to get into this. So I do recall you saying that you miss how like doing clues you used to use like the chart, the sextant, and the compass. Like
yeah.
you used to use those for
Yeah.
finding coordinate clues. Like add that to sailing. Like seriously, like imagine that was like a component of sailing where you're like sailing out, like you can change your direction and then you use like a sextant, a chart, and a compass to like sort of chart your path. And if you chart it correctly, then you can find like islands and like
God. Okay, I
like
want sailing, man. Dude, think
I'm
about
glad that I've sold you on it
think
because there's just really like an infinite amount of possibilities of sailing, and there's so much room for improvement. Whereas warding, like it has like a ceiling where okay, you can only add so much magic
yep.
armor to the game, right? Like, and then warding is just like done
Dude,
forever.
imagine like sailing and like I'm just thinking of the clues, man. The clue bottles and shit. Like, I don't
Oh
know.
my god, dude.
Like, imagine like letting like this huge net off of your boat or some shit, and you're just collecting a fuck ton of stuff and just a bunch of clue bottles and stuff. I don't know. Just I'm just thinking of like just there is endless potential, honestly, especially
I
now
even
when the community or when the JMod team is so much larger, so many more
Oh yeah,
resources.
they can work on so much stuff.
Oh yeah.
I already had a suggestion for a boss that you would unlock with high level sailing.
Oh
The
yeah.
Leviathan. Think about that. Like you sail out to like the deepest part of the ocean and you
Shit.
go and like you fight the Leviathan and it's like some like super hard group boss where like you have to tackle this thing like you have to subdue it like it's crazy big and crazy fast so you have to like it's like sort of immobilize it and then you can start fighting it like you go out and you're sailing and you have to find it first of all and then you have to immobilize it and then you have to fight it and then the fight itself would be like tough like Nightmare when it came out was really disappointing I feel for
Yeah,
most of the high level community because of
it
how
was.
boring it was but like if you were to introduce like a big ass group boss like the Leviathan where there's like you have to use teamwork like you have to like sort of trap the Leviathan by like having different people like surround it several different boats would be equipped with like multiple players and you'd have to get the boats in a formation where you like corner the Leviathan between
Dude,
like your boats and an island like I
dude,
seriously
uh,
just add sailing Jag
imagine
seriously.
imagine like a big ship that you've made with cannon. Dude, imagine the cannonball sink. You have like
Oh
cannons
dude
coming
that'd be
out of your
so sick.
shit. You have to buy multiple cannons and just
You can
like
upgrade your cannon. Like you can
God.
pimp out your ship, like using the construction skill to like make like mahogany ships, like gold trimmed ships.
Jesus
You could even go
Christ.
so far as like adding masts, like the masts could be like rare drops from sailing. So like
True.
there would be that RNG aspect where like if you loot an island, you can find like some abandoned mast that's like super high stats and like this like speed stat for your boat.
Dude, I'm just thinking like you know how little the pirate lore like there's literally pirates out in the deep wilderness. That pirate hideout? What the
Yep,
fuck are they
exactly.
doing out there?
And it's
Like
dead content. Like
and
like
there's literally okay. There is literally I'm gonna just zoom into this map real quick. There's literally a sea right here by the pirates hideout. Imagine you pull up on your fucking boat with like 8 cannons, just take out their goddamn hideout. Like, oh my god, dude, I'm just imagining the possibilities. Dude,
that would be
they
so
could
sick.
add so many islands. Look up north if you have your OSRS map. Look up north past like level 55 wilderness. Like, look how many little things they could add just right out there. Oh my
Wilderness
god, dude.
Islands, dude.
PvP sailing, man.
That's what I've been saying. Like, seriously, imagine how sick it would be.
And they could perfectly shape it to make it perfectly balanced so there's no like they have a fresh start at making a brand new
There's no
PvP.
status quo. You can
Yep.
balance it. You could actually balance
You
it
could
like some
actually balance
Sea of
something for
Thieves shit.
once. That's not old school like, you know. Oh my god.
Now you're starting to see like
I've
how
begun to see.
sleeper they how amazing sailing could be
Jesus
and how
Christ,
they could
man.
implement it. No one would be upset. Like
It would
oh
be
actually Link's
amazing.
Titan would be upset because you'd have to play the game again. Get 200 mil sailing, but yeah,
Oh
like
my god, dude! I'm literally like, you could literally
you're starting to see
PvP to
the
gain
true
your
potential here.
you could get your Sailor level up through PvP. So it would literally even be a
Oh my
PvP
god.
thing. Like they just
That'd be
couldn't
so
make it too
sick.
good with PvP. They could perfectly balance it, man. There's no status quo, like you said. Like they could just, it's like a fresh slate. It's a completely new thing, and it could still remain old school. Like, god damn, man, there are so
This is
many.
why I still play this game. I'm looking forward to the new content so much. I feel like there's so much potential with this game that is still like just buried like diamonds in the rough. You could
Holy
just
shit,
come up with
dude.
crazy content like sailing. Like we could honestly like have a cast exclusively talking about sailing.
Oh,
Like
we could go on the rest of his cast for the next 5 hours talking about it. All already, dude. I have so many ideas right now, just flooding in my mind. Like,
oh yeah,
holy shit.
it feels like something that it's just awesome. Like I don't know what else to say. Like
Jeez,
add
you've
sailing
like
jaggers.
actually expanded. I've never considered that. Literally, I just thought of sailing as some fucking budget fishing trawler bullshit. Literally, I just never really gave it the time of day.
You
I
could
just,
fix fishing trawler and give it like a
oh
sailing
yeah,
requirement, but actually like make it a mini game.
oh yeah, dude. Think about like Oh my god, dude. Fishing trawler could be kind of attached to it, almost like you know how you get like pirate outfits in a way, or not pirate outfits, but
Shout outs to Trouble Brewing.
yeah, like you could
Just
almost
Trouble
like add, you
Brewing
could make,
sailing outfits.
yeah, like I don't know, man. Holy shit. Like, what the fuck, dude? This is like so crazy. It's a completely different aspect to old school, and yet
Uh-huh.
it could remain old school and be completely new, fully balanced. It can be a new PvP. It can be a new super fun treasure hunting, skilling, PvM, everything in one. It's like it's literally like a brand new type of old. Oh my
A new
god,
frontier.
literally. Holy shit.
On that topic, on the topic, like the original question, a new skill, like thinking about sailing, like I honestly cannot even consider a different skill other than sailing. Like
I can't either
I
now.
can't. I can't think of anything that would be as good or even close to the level of sailing could be.
I can't either now. What the hell? You
Like
just
the second closest is like animal husbandry. Like God, dude. Like seriously, sailing, like exploration.
oh
Like
my
new
gosh.
encounters, crazy new skilling methods. I can't see anything getting added into the game other than sailing. Like just the word, just the brand name is good. Like sailing,
Oh my
like
god. Dude, I'm just thinking even like exploring new dude, like I'm literally thinking they could come out with almost I know this is like this is way too intense for old schools like engine and stuff, but like imagine they like you could sail somewhere super far off where it's almost like randomly generated like shit where it's like everything is always new. There's no like predetermined what you're gonna find. Just like I don't know. I'm thinking of so many different things. Like imagine you could go to like an island that's like it's almost like an instance island. It's like randomized where it's like I don't know if that's even possible for old school. I'm just thinking of so many ideas right now. I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
I had some more ideas where you can like find new places that have their own like lore and stuff. Like the nightmare actually originally came from an island that exists in RS3 called Ashihama.
Oh really?
Like imagine if sailing, like you were able to like find Ashihama, like just if your sailing level was high enough, you could actually find like new
Oh my
cities.
gosh.
And
And imagine it was like RNG almost, where it's not just like everyone
yeah,
just finds
exactly.
it. It's like a super rare chance to find it, so it's like
They talk
super
about the
exciting.
Eastern lands, like you could just add like a
Oh
mini like
my
Japan
god,
styled
dude.
island that would be really
What was
cool to
that thing?
explore.
What was that new place that they always talk about on Reddit? They always come out with this map. It just shows this new RS place. Or
Like for Zaya, like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
attached to
What's
Zaya.
that place called?
Varlamore.
Varlamore, that's it. Um dude, imagine it was like only accessible through like imagine it was closed off, but it was only accessible through like trading and boats and shit. So you had to get your sailing up just to be able to travel there. And then the only time you're able to access it is if you've like traded them enough stuff from like across other lands that they have finally like accept you and then you can like go into
Oh,
their
like a
place.
favor system. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
God damn
And
it,
then you'd
dude.
have like a whole new you could just have a whole new sub skill in sailing called merchanting, and you could be like just buying and selling goods, like trading goods to different cities and ports, and like making money in that sense. Like sailing could be, it could be
Holy
a
shit.
buyable, it could be like a money method.
Holy fucking shit,
It could
man.
literally be anything you wanted it to be.
I am like my brain's actually exploding right now.
It's staggering, isn't it?
Oh my god. This is actually insane. You could there's a new Kraken 2.0. So you know how everyone blocks their Kraken tasks? Now when you're sailing
Oh
high enough,
yeah,
there's Kraken 2.0, and it's
dude,
terrifying.
imagine. Those big octos I was talking about in the Wind Waker, where you just like randomly like you get, or actually in the Wind Waker, it's interesting because you see like a flock of seagulls in the open water, and if you go to it, the big octo is underneath it. Like you can find the big octo by looking for like clues like the seagulls floating around. But yeah, you could have that sort of same instance where like if you see like a flock of seagulls while you're sailing, you can either choose to go into it and then fight the the kraken that comes out of it,
Oh my
or you
god.
can choose to avoid it because like maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you don't want to like fight this kraken boss that you're not assigned to kill, right? Like you could just skip it. Maybe like
Yeah.
you'd rather go for the XP aspect. Like all these
Yeah.
kinds of decision making skills would be implemented into sailing. Oh, and another thing about sailing is that our like Reddit's holy savior, Gentle Tractor, he
Oh, I
pitched
love him.
sailing, and it got no traction. Okay, it got traction on Reddit, but like the J mods just ignored it. Like Gentle Tractor made like a huge fleshed out pitch for sailing, and just there was just no response from Jagex at all on a sailing skill, and it blows me away that they're not interested in exploring it further.
Oh my gosh, dude, there is so much potential. Holy shit.
Absolutely, and that's why I still play this game because I feel like there is crazy good potential.
Oh my god, man. Like I am just daydreaming right now. Kid you not, I'm just sitting here daydreaming.
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
Jagex sailing done, please.
Literally,
God,
there's
like
no other
like
alternative now.
okay, raids 3 first, but please Jagex, but sailing after that, immediately after that,
Yeah.
like 2022, like
Dude, there
first
is
first thing
so
January.
much. Oh my god, like it's a good thing sailing didn't pass early on. It would have just been this horrible shit show with like
Oh yeah,
four J mods
oh
controlling it,
yeah,
like
I'm so glad that it failed back then.
reskinned like boats and stuff. Like they can do so much now. It's unbelievable, and it can complement so many other skills too. Like,
Did you even consider sailing before I sort of
dude,
shilled it
I
out to
always
you?
thought of sailing again. Like it's like what I said. I think of sailing. I think of fishing trawler. Like I just never,
Awful,
I
yeah.
never thought about it deeply. I always thought, like I remember considering artisan. I absolutely do not consider that anymore because of just it. It's just bad
It's
making
lazy.
making other skills tied to it. Yeah, I
Doesn't
just
add anything new to the game.
yep, it
That's
doesn't.
the thing. That's the important thing is that your skill needs to add like a lot to the game
I
because it's a
was
whole skill.
I was definitely in favor of making something similar to artisan, but it not being a skill, just similar to like farming contracts. By the way, farming contracts should have never been skippable. Hate that. I don't feel like farming
I know
contract.
the efficient irons that are going for like 200 mil alls and stuff. They, like contracts are crazy strong for
They're
them because
so busted,
they
and
just shit out irrit seeds
dude,
and
they would have been perfectly balanced if they were not skippable. If you got a tree, you
yep,
had to do it. Boom, no
yep.
exceptions. That would have been perfectly balanced. Instead, they have this like stupid unlimited skip. Well, not unlimited, but like technically unlimited. I mean, you can only skip to easy, but you can do it every time. Like, what the fuck? If they would have gotten rid of that, it would have been this perfectly balanced thing. I feel like artisan could be a thing, and I've talked about this, probably not in a Sae Bae Cast, but I know I've talked about it in a ramble where you know how like kingdoms and castles are like useless. Like you go into a castle, it's like this is just here.
Yeah, it's
Like
pretty
there's
sad.
yeah. Imagine there was like it's almost like you can skill in certain regions, and like the castle is paying you rewards to go gather this amount of material, and you're gonna have a slight boost. So it would never be like efficient, but it could be this new. It's almost like It's almost like mahogany homes in a way. It would be like a
Yeah, yeah.
contract system with other skilling, and you'd get rewarded from the kingdom that you're skilling in. I don't know, something like that, where it's like it actually takes you around the world. It's like same thing they did with Slayer a while back, where they've made new caves. It's not just everything's in the Slayer stronghold. It's like you can actually explore the world a little bit more and skill and get rewarded for it with like higher XP rates for certain tasks. Obviously, it would never be the meta for anything, but
Just variety is
mm-hmm.
really appreciated.
But don't make it a skill. Just make it an optional thing. Same with mahogany homes, like just optional. But yeah, there's so much potential with sailing. Holy shit.
So I kind of feel like me bringing up the next topic is unsuitable because I'm the guest here, right? I want you to go to the next
Let's do it.
topic.
So let's just continue on this Twitter topics. I want to go to QHP's topic.
Shoutouts to QHP, by the way.
He asks, or he says, or he asks, let me read it. What should differentiate the acceptable unpatched emergent boss mechanics, example, red X kiting, corpse spec tabbing, iron alt tanking, from the unacceptable patched methods such as KQ, Myth Seed, Seracnus, stall, web skip, Serb blocking. This is where it really comes down to just what Jagex decides in the moment, and there's no real rhyme or reason. But if that didn't make sense, what I just said to people listening, basically, why are certain things patched and other things not patched when it comes to PVM? For example, a lot of people now really like basically the Zami 5-0 method with Tebow is very well known, and it uses the red X thing.
Shoutouts to G Challenge as well, by the
Oh
way.
yeah,
He
big shout
invented
out,
that.
fucking gamer. That why is that method still in the game, but something like the K or like the KQ Mithril Seed patched and the Seracnus Mind Shield / Elemental Shield Web Stall Skip patched? Like, and I'll just ask you what are your
So
thoughts on the whole
first
thing?
of all, I don't think there is an objective way of saying like what should get patched and what shouldn't. I think it is 100% subjective. Like I thought about this. I thought about like like what methods should or should not get patched, and my first thought was like, okay, if it's using like some dumb item and it doesn't make any sense, then it should get patched. But then I thought like, okay, like I mean, mithril seeds are in the game, stuff like that. But uh, it's I think it doesn't have to do with that because the it sort of adds charm to the game in a way that there's all these like different methods out there, right? Like tick manipulating, like it doesn't make sense, not at all, but it's just a RuneScape thing at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like it adds charm to the game that you can sort of exploit the game in a little bit of a way like that. Like the red Xing, it does it make sense to go back and forth between a manta ray, two manta rays to kill bandos? No, but um, is it unhealthy for the game that that's the case? I don't think so. Um, I feel like methods like these, they're sort of accidentally introduced into the game. But once a method like that comes out, I think the JMod should sort of evaluate it and see if it's adding anything to the game or not, or if it's like straight up bad, like the red Xing, like the diagonally cutting method at Bandos that I produced that got really positive reception, by the way. Like I was blown away at the day that I uploaded that. Like it takes a lot of skill to pull off, like
Yep.
you use range, which is previously not a viable skill, or sorry, not a viable attack method at all on Bandos for solo because you just get wrecked. um it added skill to bandos in the sense that like you can't make a mistake, you can't make a single mistake at bandos with the diagonally cutting method because like you just ruin everything, and then you gotta like get your bearings back. You're gonna take a lot of damage in the meantime because range armor is not very tanky to range. Grotto's gonna clang the crap out of you. uh so that method shouldn't really get patched because it's adding a new dynamic to a boss that previously didn't have such a thing. It's adding skill to the game,
Yep.
and it's like a trade-off, like more effort, more reward, right?
Yep.
It was the same thing with the KQ safe spot with mithril seeds. Like it wasn't like inherently like you were like one hitting KQ or anything. Like you're not
Yeah.
drastically
It was a
increasing your
lot
kills
of
per hour.
effort.
It was click intensive because currently
Perfect
you
timing.
kill KQ and you basically just like you sit there just eating.
Yep.
Like okay, I'm low health, time to walk under, eat, and just keep hitting. There's nothing to look at. Like you just pray the right thing and you're good. You just
You don't even have to
wait until
pray
the
the
boss
right thing.
dies
You just
basically.
sit there and just like literally you just pray either
Yeah,
magic or range. Doesn't even matter.
but this mithril seed thing, um, you did get the benefit. It was really good for getting the KQ head, which is what I did on my ult. I did the full 256 kills on my ult, by the way. I got pretty unlucky on the head, but it was cool anyway because I got to make a video on the method
Yeah.
anyway. Um, so that method, it was super click intensive. It was tough to perform, and if you made a mistake, by the way, like if you kept your flower planted, for example, you couldn't plant a flower again, and the flower would take like a year to despawn. So it would like sort of just ruin it if you made such an error like that. And again, like effort
Yep.
versus
And people only
reward.
see like a 5 minute video of you doing it flawlessly, where it's like this shit
It,
takes
it,
so much
you,
actual practice.
yeah, the average person on the game, like just your mid-level account player base, is not going to be able to be tick perfect for so long all the time
And I feel
without
like the
practice.
method was almost like it's like it wasn't even more kills per hour. It was just saving you supplies
It was
basically.
longer trips, and it wasn't even that good on irons because
Yeah,
you
you had
had
to
to go
buy
and
all
buy
this
the seeds.
and hop worlds.
I gotta say though, it was fun doing that method for a while. So the funniest thing was that I caused mithril seeds to skyrocket in price when I released the video, which is really funny. I told Port Kazard before I released the video to buy a whole bunch of myth seeds, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna buy 100k." He made mills off that.
Oh
And then
damn.
they patched it the next week, but he had already sold his myth seeds, so feels good, man, for him. But yeah, it was funny using myth seeds, and the thing about myth seeds is they're so cheap that you literally profit using them because you get white flowers occasionally, and they are valuable enough that they're more valuable than the seeds that you use to get the flowers.
Oh
So
wow.
you're killing cake here, and then all of a sudden, oh hey, some white flowers. That's 500k. It's like it was better money per hour because you were getting passive white flowers.
Yeah.
It's just funny how that worked out from a main perspective of getting the flowers and then selling them.
Is
But
that
yeah, it
why
wasn't that
people
viable
plant
for iron.
flowers at the GE? I never understood that. Is they're just trying to get white flowers and shit?
I guess so.
Like I
White flowers are pretty rare, by the way. They're like 1 in 1,000 from a mithril seed.
I don't know anything about mithril seeds really besides just moving. But I didn't know they actually gave. Well, I knew from your video that they gave rare flowers because I recently just watched that. But I guess that's the reason now that I'm thinking about it why there's just randomly some worlds at the GE where there's like a billion flowers everywhere. It's people are like trying to get those rare ones. I
I
guess.
feel like a lot of it is also people griefing fire makers at the GE
Yeah,
because you can't
maybe.
light a fire on flower. Like I don't think it's people like actually trying to make money.
Okay. Yeah,
I think it's a lot of trolling. Um,
that must be it. I don't know. This is
but yeah,
weird.
you can. I don't know what the prices are now. I don't know who the heck buys white flowers, but
Yeah, that's what
they are
I'm
popular, I
wondering.
suppose.
Interesting. Yeah. So what do you think
But
of?
yeah, anyway, to summarize the question, just like evaluate what it means, like what this method is entailing, like is it OP? Is it giving too much for the extra effort, or is it potentially like just strictly better? Like Sarachnis stall, like they shouldn't have patched that. Like it was an additional mechanic. Like you had to pay attention. Like oh, as soon as I get web, time to click the mind shield.
Yep.
Uh, and it's not even the case of like it's weird that the mind shield would be like a good item there. Like it's just a charming in a way that items like that can be used in such a way.
It's
I
the
think it's
same
totally
thing
fine.
with like why would I don't know. Like that's how the level 3 fire cape came to be because of that mind shield
Yeah,
stall and stuff like so
exactly.
why was it patched at Sarachnis is so it's not even like it's just barely speeding up the kills but it's giving an additional like incentive to pay attention and to have some skill and timing into things.
And shout outs to Volcano for actually not a shout out, like negative shout out Volcano for getting nerfed, dude. Like why it's so
Fucking
poorly
sad.
designed. Like they could why not just make the Volcano scale based on how many players are there so you're not like punishing people who aren't putting in the work.
It's
Like
literally
I don't
sad.
know, dude.
It's just,
It's
the
so
whole
sad. Now
sucks.
it's just Veni City. It's just such a lame boss, and it's so rewarding for what it is. Like Volcano needs help bad.
It's so bad. It is
Even
literally
the Crystal
so
Tool
bad.
Seed is way too rare now. Like getting that on an iron takes way too long for what it's worth.
Oh, it's
They need to.
stupid, dude.
It's crazy rare. Like just please fix Volcano. Like rework everything, dude.
They're not going to either because there's no like it, they would just have to do it without pulling it because if they pulled it people would be like no don't re-add any sort of skill to it it's fine or something like I don't know it's I just have lost faith that there's even going to be any sort of buff or like change to it. I just don't feel like they're even going to bother. Just so sad.
Yep.
By the way, I just decided to mine some Lovakite because I have
Oh
to.
hell
I
yeah.
have to. I ran out of soft clay, and now I have to. I figured,
Dude, I'm
what
I'm almost out of rubies. Like
what
I'm
better
gonna need to
time?
think of
Yeah,
something other than cutting rubies, dude.
yeah. I ran out of
This
soft clay. I
this
got to think
this
of something
cast is
quick.
gonna be a banger. It's gonna be so
This,
long, dude.
I kid you not. This is gonna be a 3 part. It's going to be 3 part. I'm not even kidding you right now. I know. I know for a fact it's gonna be 3 part. And the last part
Holy
we're gonna
shit.
have to just extend it because we only want to keep it at 3, but it's gonna be like 6 hours.
It's gonna have a part one, part two, part three, deleted scenes, blooper reel.
The deleted scenes. That's gonna be a monthly
We're gonna need a
subscription to the Sae
Blu-ray
Bae
set for
Cast.
this, dude.
Yeah.
We're gonna get you to sell that as like merch on the channel. Like, hey, buy the Bcguppy X Sae Bae Cast Blu-ray set with all the deleted scenes and all the extras, including an autographed picture of General Grador signed by Bcguppy.
Some fucking
and
white
and a
flowers
picture
while
of
you're at it. Here's some
Siractus
white
with
flowers.
getting bonked, going to horny jail, getting bonked by an Inquisitor's mace, signed by Sae Bae, dude.
Don't talk about the mace. God damn it.
We don't talk about the mace.
Wait, do you have a mace?
Nope.
So what are you at Nightmare? Because I didn't actually know you even had a harm staff.
Okay, so I want to talk about my current goals in the game because
Let's do it.
I kind of like stopped talking about it because I wanted to get some other topics. But so my Iron Man right now, um, it's like pretty complete. Um, right now during the day, I'm working on Corrupted Gauntlet. I want to get the Blade of Sildor, not for any particular reason. I just wanted to give Corrupted Gauntlet a try, and then I found out like, holy shit, this is really fun. So I want to go for a Blade of Silver. I'm pretty dry. I'm like almost 600 corrupted KC, no blade, which is unlucky, but I got two pets in the meantime, so that's pretty cool. The Hunlef is a really cool pet, by the way. It's pretty unique. I like it. But yeah, I'm doing Corrupted Gauntlet during the day, trying to get the Blade of Sildor. I really like the regular drops from Corrupted Gauntlet, by the way. It's nice getting like a whole bunch of Alex to supply the scythe. And then at night, I do like daily nightmare passively, like just at night when the worlds aren't packed. It's really easy to find a world when you're West Coast and you're doing it at like midnight to like 2
Oh
a.m.
yeah.
Like it's really easy to find worlds and it's like chill. Like you get a world, you just hold it forever. Like you don't have to hop worlds after every single kill. I know you probably absolutely hate
It's
doing
painful. I need
nightmare
to
when
I need to
it's
literally
so
fuck my
packed.
sleep schedule up because of it. It's so bad.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm glad that my sleep schedule is already like it goes deep into the night, and I'm West Coast, so it's easier for me to stay up later because it's not like I'm staying up till like 6 a.m. East Coast time. Like I can start doing Nightmare at around like 11, 12 p.m. my time, or sorry, 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. my time, and then like 2 a.m. and I can just do like I do like 5 to 10 kills a day usually. Sometimes I don't do Nightmare for other reasons. Like
Yeah.
like one day I was doing Corrupted Gauntlet. I was just like really enjoying it. I looked at the time. Holy shit! It's 2 a.m. It's time for bed. And then I didn't do any Nightmare because I was just addicted to Corrupted Gauntlet. But yeah. So I am working on Nightmare passively, not like you, not like grinding it out to get mace and then do my epic 600,000 Sarachnis. But so at Nightmare, I got really really lucky early on. I got full Inquisitor. I shit you not, 100 kills, 100 solos,
What the
full Inc.
fuck?
I had it stupid early.
I did not know that.
I well, that's the thing is that I'm not really on social media or anything, or I even
Yeah, but
stream,
yeah,
so no
like
one
that's
talks
something
about
like
me
I'd just be
on a
flexing all the
literal.
time when I talk to you for like an hour at the crafting guild. You never fucking mention that shit.
Well, I'm pretty. I want to say humble about
You're
my account,
very
because I've
humble
been
and
playing for so
so
long.
not hypocritical. Yeah, no, literally
Uh,
like that.
yeah, I
I
don't
would
want
have
to be
been fucking
hypocritical
bragging
and
about
say
that
I'm
all
humble,
day.
but yeah, I got full ink super early, and then so I got full Inquisitor. So the first 50 KC I did at Nightmare was on release with like 5 mans, like with like Fat Clouds and the crew. Shadows, Fat Clouds. We did 50 kills and then we stopped because like we saw nothing. It was like, wow, this boss is shit. It's
Wait,
got
were you
8
there
uniques and
with us on the first day? Because I was with Fat Cloud
I
the first.
wasn't with you because I was with Fat Clouds like after you went, like you stopped
Oh,
because you
okay.
play early morning, right?
Yeah.
I play afternoon, evening. So
Okay.
I played in like Fat Clouds as a time slot. So
Okay.
we were doing 5 mans, just saw nothing. So we're like, okay, wow, this is shit. Like we're not gonna do this because the drops are so rare. And then I just benched Nightmare at that point, and I never went back. But then the Blood Fury got a buff proposal, and I'm like, oh my god, this could be so good for Solo Nightmare. So I was thinking to myself like wow, I really want to try Solo Nightmare now that like Blood Fury is getting buffed and like you could heal like a shit ton per kill
Oh,
and
it's
you basically
disgusting.
supply-less. So what I did was I pickpocketed a whole bunch of Vyres like when or actually before the buff came out, and I ended up getting like I did a lot of thieving. I ended up getting like 10 blood shards, which is like really nice by the way. And I as soon as the Blood Fury buff went through, like I tried it at Nightmare, I'm like, oh my god, this is like crazy easy. Like maybe this is something I could actually grind. And like as I'm like doing Blood Fury kills, I just see boom, Inquisitor's Great Helm, and I'm like, oh, I have an item now. Like it was my first unique on the account, and it was really exciting, and it made me want to get more, right? So I kept going. Like I didn't even want to kill Nightmare. I didn't even think it was worth it at the time,
Oh,
and
it's not.
I just did it.
Yeah.
It's totally not still, but I wanted to try it, the Blood Fury buff at the time, because I knew it was going to be really strong, and I wanted to see like how it felt at Nightmare. And then I got the helm, and then like 20 kills later or something, I get a volatile orb. I'm like, oh, this is pretty rare. Maybe I want to go for like a staff now. And then like fast forward like another like 20 kills, I get a skirt.
Oh my
And
god,
now
dude.
it's like, oh shit, well, I could either get a staff and finish my volatile, or I could get like a hauberk and finish full Inquisitor, and that would be sick.
Meanwhile, it's only
Because
been
now,
like 2 fucking days. You already have
yeah,
this.
it's literally like I could probably look and see uh like what days I got the
God
Inquisitor
damn it.
pieces, because it was pretty insane. But yeah, I'm just doing solos with like bludgeon still at the time, because
Yeah.
I didn't have full ink then. And then 6 kills, I shit you not, 6 solos after the skirt, hauberk. And
Oh
now I have
my
full ink. But
god.
but I need a staff. So now I've got this like uh like this mentality where I've already put in so much time into it. Now it's like, oh wow, now I really want to get a staff and finish my volatile, right? And then it was like 60 kills after I finished full Inquisitor, Harmonized Orb.
That's
and
so
and bear in mind, I
stupid,
have
dude.
no staff. I have no staff still. So now I'm like
But you're
trapped.
only like
Like now I have to
you're
do
only like
Nightmare. Now
150 kc, so it's like,
so it
oh
was
my
180
god.
KC that
Oh,
I got
180, my
my
bad.
harm orb.
Jesus
Because keep in
Christ.
mind, I did the 55 mans at the beginning that were worth nothing,
Yeah, yeah,
but it still counts for KC, I suppose.
yeah.
But now it's like now I'm trapped. Like I was just a Nightmare testing the Blood Fury, and now I'm just trapped. Like now I need a staff to finish, harmonized staff, because it's a pretty sick item.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's not like the most useful item in the world. Like
For
it's
irons at
definitely no
least, yeah.
T-bow, but um yeah, like I needed to go for a staff, and then I went dry on the staff. Like I went crazy dry on the staff. Well, not crazy dry, but um I went to the harmonized orb was 180 KC, and then it took me until 599 to get the staff. So
Damn.
I did a lot of Nightmare with Scythe and Sang. Shoutouts to Blood Runes, by the way.
So you're
I
gonna
used
tell me,
a
because
lot
we
of
we
Blood
were
Runes.
talking about it a little bit before we started recording about the Blood Fury with Scythe. I want to hear about that after you tell me the rest of your
Okay,
thoughts.
so okay, so when I was going for the staff, I wasn't using a Blood Fury at all. Like I stopped using Blood Fury. Even though, okay, I literally didn't use a single blood shard, like a full blood shard, in the time that I was bludgeoning Nightmare, because I just got spooned so many drops. Like I didn't even use a full blood shard. Like
Jesus Christ.
so now like I'm sitting there, like I've got a Blood Fury that's got like 2,000 charges left and 9 blood shards just chilling, and I didn't really know like what to do with them, because I thought at the time, like, okay, I'm not gonna scythe with Blood Fury, like that's cringe. Like I'm gonna go through 3 charges every swing basically, right? So I never used Blood Fury until I got the Nightmare Staff. So I was scything and using Sang on the pillars, and you heal like a lot on the pillars when you're using Sang, but it's just really expensive. You're using it's uh like what, 95 casts a
Yeah,
solo
it's
on
like
Sang. That's
250 bloods.
300 blood runes a kill.
Yeah,
That's
something like that. 250 to
like the
300.
price, the blood runes you use really adds up.
Oh yeah.
But I had a lot of money just from like I did a lot of Vorkath in like 2018. Like I killed like okay, my KC at Vorkath is 5555. I'm pretty proud of it. But I grinded Vorkath for a skeletal visage at the time, and that's approximately how long it took. I did a little bit more kills after I got the skeletal at Vorkath, but yeah, I liquefied all the loot that I got from Vorkath, and I alked it all at Alchemical Hydra when that came out. Like the timing was really nice. Like I had all that Vorkath loot. I converted it all into Alex, and then I just alked everything at Hydra. And I went dry at Hydra. So the Hydra Claw took me until like 2300 KC to actually get at Hydra. So I had a lot of time alking. Like I
And then
did
even more
2000
Alks on
KC
top
at
of it.
Hydra, and that's how long it took for me to run out of Alex. I did all that at Hydra. Like I alked so much. Like what? It's like you alk like if you're tick perfect, and I was for the most part because I'm using a 5 tick weapon
Yeah.
on Hydra with like a T-bow, so I was alking every 5 ticks at Hydra, and kills are like what, like 2 minutes
Yeah,
long,
something like that.
and then there's the time in between kills. So I was alking like 40 to 50 items a kill, and multiply that by 2,000, and you can see like how much shit I alked at Hydra. Like it was unreal. So I had a cash stack of like 500 mil, and I spent a shit ton on blood runes. Like I would passively buy blood runes. I would like there was like a meta to it. Like I wanted to buy bloods at the Mages Guild on off hours so I wouldn't be competing with like a whole bunch of people. But a lot of the time like it would just be cleaned out by some Iron Man that it
It's
was just there.
so
So
obnoxious.
so you know how a lot of like the efficient Iron Men they do birdhouse runs? My birdhouse run was just going to the Mages Guild and just checking like the blood rune stocks. Like if it was lower
That
than
was your
like a
hourly.
hundred. That was my hourly, literally. Like it takes about an hour for the blood rune stocks to restore back to
Yeah.
full. So every hour, like I would be doing what was it I was doing at the time? Like I was doing like solo CM or something, and then I'd do two solo CMs. All right, time to go check out the Mages Guild, like check out the stock, and then after that, I eventually transitioned into doing a bit of buying from the Mages Zamrak in the Wilderness because I
Yeah.
found like, oh wow, this is pretty nice. Like I
It's
only
just
buy
so much
100
more
per world. I'm
expensive.
really stingy
But
on
you
PvP.
buy how much per world there?
100.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, that is stingy.
I see it as like grind in itself. I don't see blood rune buying as like a thing where okay, time to buy like blood runes. Like I see it as like grind in itself. Like okay, this is like a 50-hour grind to turn all this GP into blood runes, and I just stick it out. Like I'll go to the Mage's Amarak with like 20 mil coins. Shoutouts to Sang, by the way, the Sanguinesti staff, being able to like you can put your blood runes in it while you're buying at the
Oh,
wizard,
true. So
and you
you're
don't
like
risk blood
pretty
runes.
safe.
Yeah, very
Interesting.
safe. And yeah, I would just buy. I bought a lot of blood runes there. And if you buy 100 per world, you're buying them for 440 each instead of 450 at the Mages Guild. If you miraculously have, you know, like full stocks every world, which never happens, but there is the occasional like system update. Like you just immediately go to the Mages Guild. Like okay, all the stocks are full.
Yep.
Time to buy as many worlds as possible until they're all bought by other irons doing the same thing. So. Uh, Anyway, yeah, I had a lot of money from Forecath, so I was able to afford a whole bunch of scything and sanging on Nightmare. And I felt like as an Iron Man that had all this money in my bank, like all these supplies, like I felt like, okay, like I don't have very many grinds left. Like I don't really have any place to use scythe nowadays. So I'm like, all right, it's time to just use everything I've got in my bank. Just don't even care about supplies. Just burn through as many supplies as possible and work on this grind. And I don't know, like I remember you talking about how you're satisfied using all the items in your bank, like even if it's not efficient,
Yeah.
like cutting all your rubies and diamonds and then
Yep.
making them into bracelets and alching them, like or even like stringing magic longbows, which is pretty slow, but you're still using the items in your bank, and I felt the same way with Nightmare. Like I really appreciated that Nightmare was like reducing my supplies down because I felt like it would be a waste having all the supplies on my account and then like I quit the game or like I start playing like a main or something and I'm not motivated to play an Iron Man anymore because I don't have any grinds left. So Nightmare at that point, so I'm 600 KC. I didn't even get into the Blood Fury at Nightmare thing yet. I'm about to get to that. Um, so I'm 600 KC. I start using Harmonized Staff, and I'm really missing the heals from using the Sang. So at that point, like I needed a new inventory setup. So I was like working like thinking about how many brews I need. I don't use Phoenix necklaces at Nightmare at all. I think it's risky. Like I
Oh,
would not like to
it's
die
enraging if
just
you
to a
miss one
misclick.
flick. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't play that way. I play as safe as possible. So I basically like play hardcore Iron Man style at Nightmare where I just brew all the time. Like
That's
I
probably
take
fucking smart if you have enough supplies for it.
Oh yeah, I killed 5,000 mole just for that purpose, just so I
Okay,
could have a
yeah,
ton
you're
of brews. I bring 4 brews a kill, 2 mantas. I didn't really want to lose out on mage switches at the time because like I had just gotten my harmonized staff.
yeah, just want to
Like
see
I
how
really
powerful it
wanted
really
to hit
is.
those like sick 98s on the pillars.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was like, okay, I'll just use Blood Fury and just like just instead of like losing mage switches for food, I'm gonna start using Blood Fury because I have the shards in my bank. Like God knows where I'd use Blood Shards besides Nightmare. Like I
Yeah,
have no
exactly.
idea. So
That's how I
I've
think
got
about
the
them.
nine. I got the 9 shards in the bank. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start using Scythe with Blood Fury. And the thing about the Scythe, first of all, you do not lose a max hit with Blood Fury, going from Torture to Blood Fury with Scythe
Really, with
with
full
the full
Inquisitors.
Inquisitor. You still hit 48, 24, 12. You have the same max. So the only thing you lose is 5 accuracy, but you also gain like some defense and mage defense, range defense
Yep.
from the Fury stats. You gain
And
some
prayer.
prayer bonus too. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh, so the Blood Fury, it just works so well with the Scythe, like on paper, ignoring how many charges it uses, first of all. But you don't lose the max set, so your DPS is hardly affected. Um, and the thing about the Blood Fury is I found that if I take 4 brews, even with a harm, no Sang healing, I could still, like, a lot of the time get kills where I don't even use Blood Fury at all. Like I would just, I would just not get hit by as many autos, or I wouldn't like make any mistakes and just tank a 60 melee to the face. And that's where the Blood Fury really comes in handy. Is that if I make a mistake like that, I can afford it. Like I'm not redemptioning half the kill because I fucked up in P1 or
Yeah.
P2. Like accidentally like not sand viewing or bombing a parasite and then having to fight the Omega Super Parasite, and you just take a shit ton of damage, and then it's like you run out of brews at the end of P2 and you're like, shit, like I
How
got a redemption.
like how I feel about it is I would be totally cool with using more supplies. Well, first of all, I don't want to even grind out any more Blood Furies simply because one, the Archaea spellbook hasn't been
Yeah, you
in the
have that
game yet.
mentality where
And
it's inefficient
and
at the
like
moment.
also I have so many elves to thieve, and so if I'm not using a Blood Fury, then that means I'm gonna have to brew more, which means I'm gonna have to use more restores. And then Torstals is the big thing where it's like I am grinding out Nightmare until I get a mace, and like running out of Torstals is pretty terrifying. That's the thing I would be lowest on. Like after
Yep.
if I go dry another 2,000 kills, like that's the part I'm gonna be
God,
fucking
imagine
struggling at.
using divine super attacks and super strengths. Holy fuck, that'd be so cringe.
I actually, well, I wouldn't be able to use it. Well, I guess I could. I just have to do some more thieving, but I
Shout
just
outs
need
to
that. I
Crown of the
need I
Gauntlet, by
need
the
the
way.
Archaea spellbook to come out. Like when's that coming out?
Well, it's supposed to come out with the quest, right? So, well, like, who knows when that's gonna come out? Like, we
Yeah,
have Temporos, the fishing boss, coming out soon. I think that comes first, and then we
yeah,
got like the whole combat achievements thing, which is, I think it's really close. Like, it might be the next update, or maybe Temporos is first. I don't know, but I think it's probably like 2 or 3 months from now that that
yeah.
comes out.
Okay. Anyway, keep going.
Um, so anyway, the Blood Fury, it was just a nice crutch, just in case I like fucked up a lot and I needed the healing, right? Like I could just okay, just put the Blood Fury on and then like never have to worry about redemption anymore because the heals on the Scythe with Blood Fury are insane. Like they're super consistent. With a bludgeon, you only have a 20% chance of healing every time you hit, but with a Scythe, you can heal off of each hit splat that hits. So your chance of healing is essentially like tripled.
Yeah,
So
no, it's true. But
and or actually you what do you want to say?
I was just gonna say like how many more charges does it use? Let's just say you used it for the entire kill. Like how many charges do you go through if you use the scythe the entire kill, like on average? Because I
Okay,
know it's only
so
successful hits.
yep,
And
that's right.
yeah,
Your accuracy on Nightmare is 2 and 3 with Scythe. You have a 1 in 3 chance of missing. So
okay,
at that point, the Scythe is hitting 3 times, right? On average, you hit twice out of those 3 hits. So you're only using 2 charges a swing. Um, I calculated like, or actually I didn't calculate. I just checked to see like exactly how many Scythe charges and like all these supplies that I was using per kill on average. Scythe is 220 to 225 swings a kill. So that would equate to 440 to 450
okay,
blood fury charges a kill, which is like that's the whole kill. Like if you literally
yeah,
camp
yeah.
blood fury the whole kill, like
But you
it's no
wouldn't ever
supplies.
do that in any situation.
You
You'd
would
always
never do
switch.
that. That
Yeah,
that's way too much thieving.
yeah,
Unless you want to do 200 mil thieving on Vires, that is not viable. Um, so yeah, if you used it the whole kill, you would use that much. But consider this. Consider that you only use it like for P2, like for the parasites, where you don't have to heal. Uh, like if you use the Blood Fury mid P2, you're saving time because you're not like eating any food. You're not. I mean, I know Phoenix necklaces, like you use them and they don't cost any ticks to use, but uh, with the Blood Fury, you can like heal and make the parasite phase faster. So using the Blood Fury and then not having to like brew or anything, it makes the parasite phase faster. So you get less parasites on average, and your kill
Yeah.
speed goes up like quite a bit. So that's my original proposal to myself. Like, okay, if I use Blood Fury only P2, I'm saving like all these supplies. Still, I'm making good use of my blood shards, and like it's making it a lot faster. But I started doing that. I'm realizing like, oh wait, I'm actually like, I don't even need to use blood fury like the whole time on P2, because like the heals are actually like way above my expectations. So I ended up only using it like half of P2. So now it's like we're dividing it, the amount of shard or blood fury charges per kill down to like a lot lower. And then I was curious, so I started doing like scythe with blood fury and seeing how many charges I was using a kill. Can you guess how many charges I was using a kill
With
on average?
Scythe,
Scythe, yeah.
just on like phase 2 basically.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna guess like 50.
45.
God damn. Yeah, no, you can really fucking reduce that. And
And
the only phase
oh,
that's
go on.
really actually aids is again phase 2. It's just like things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So shit.
45 charges on average. So you get 222 solos every blood shard. Like that's insane. Like think about that.
Yeah.
Like how long it takes to do 220 solos versus getting one blood shard. Like one blood shard's like 4 hours, but soloing that much nightmare is like 75.
Yeah. No, it's like it's still not worth it, but the comfort you would get from it is like it's basically worth it. And if you have any other macro goals, like such as getting to 100 mil thieving eventually, like because it's not technically that inefficient to go grind out blood shards in a, like a skilling aspect.
Yeah.
I just yeah, I'm like blocked by the Arceus spellbook right now because I would actually like to go back there and thieve some, but like that 15% extra chance of not getting stunned sounds amazing.
You know what's fascinating? The new Arceus spell is so powerful on fires. The XP per hour, it actually matches Pyramid Plunder.
I can't even
I don't know
imagine
if you
then
thought
what
about
Gem
this, but
Knights is gonna be like.
uh, well, Gem Knights. Okay, considering
Oh,
that you don't
technically
fail much on Gem Knights.
it's less XP per pickpocket as well, so it'd be like less exponential, I guess. Right?
Uh,
Or
well, you
something
get
like
the
that.
same XP per pickpocket. The thing is only like
Oh, do
reducing
you
your chance of failing.
at Gem Knights than you would at Vires?
At Gem Knights, like if you're 99 thieving, like you have all the perks like thieving cape and the RD diary. Like you hardly ever fail there. So the
Okay.
XP rate there would be like very small
That's
increase. But
true. That's true.
At Fires you fail a fuck ton. Like you're literally like failing like you're burning through food too. Like you're failing so much, and then this new spell makes you fail so much less. You get like a lot of XP per pickpocket, and it
Dude,
really adds
elves
up.
are insane. Have you ever pickpocketed elves?
Oh yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
did that for my crystal
That would even
the
get
teleport
more of
thing.
a buff then if it's even
Yep, big time.
that's gonna
Y-
be
y-
so fucking
Uh,
nice.
like I think more so than virus.
Oh
So
yeah, it will
they're
it'll have to be. It'll be a
well
bigger
the
increase, but
fire XP is gonna be higher still
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, definitely a lot higher.
uh the fail rate's a little lower, but yeah, thieving elves is gonna be like even competitive, like, and it's good money too. Like it's kind of impressive how much money thieving is per hour. Like I know
Yeah.
when blood shards first became good again, they were like 10 mil each, and you were making 3 mil an hour just pickpocketing vires. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
crazy
crazy.
how like something like mining rune is like, even if you're like sweating like tick manipulating, it's like 1.5 mil per hour, and then you just take thieving and double the XP, or sorry, the GP. So it's 3 mil an hour instead of 1.5.
And there's no like uh player
Competition.
yeah, there's no competition. Like there's just you can always get it.
It's crazy, and think of how long it takes to get 99 mining versus thieving. Like like everyone in their nan has 99 thieving at this point. It
Yep.
feels like.
It's a good thing that is really well balanced with just how fucking aids it is to thieve stuff. It is so aids. Like if you're just looking at your screen failing, you're just wanting to throw a brick at your computer. Just elves, dude. I kid you not, I have failed 20 times in a row. Kid you fucking not. I just couldn't thieve. I'm like,
Yeah,
what did I
frustrating.
brew down? Like what is happening? Like
Brewing down your thieving level
yeah.
poggers.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I as much as I love that update where it's like if you're gonna be aware of your screen every minute and you keep recasting that new Arceus spell, I love that they're increasing like the success rate, but I feel like they could even add more to thieving where it's like even more engaging. I had mentioned
Yeah,
about that prayer thing where you can like it like attacks in a certain style, and if you put up the prayer within a tick, you can like
I got a suggestion for that actually. Okay, so Metaphos. It's been talked about forever. Like it's still can't access it. People are wanting like Metaphos with like raids 3 and
yep
potentially even like Desert Treasure 2. That's a whole nother topic entirely. But my pitch for adding something to Metaphos, like add Pyramid Plunder, literally add Pyramid Plunder to Metaphos, but like make it like Hallowed Sepulchre for thieving. Like make some sort of like crazy like Egyptian tomb that you need your like super high thieving to get through, and you have to like do it's like Hallowed Sepulchre where you got to dodge all these traps, like
yeah
or literally you could just reskin the Sepulchre and just add like the thieving requirements
literally.
and like exactly the same, just reskin it as an Egyptian themed like pyramid
I
sort of deal.
I was thinking like because we were talking about I was talking about that with Adicon, just like making things that make Sepulchre so much fun, adding that to raids 3 even. Like I don't know about just
I
reskinning and making it
agree.
into thieving because thing about thieving, what sucks is it's such a fast skill. Like when I really think about it, with how much thieving I'll need to do with like getting crystal shards, it's such a fast skill. I'm eventually gonna run out of it. Like I think isn't it like one blood shard every 1 mil XP on average, or like 900k
That I
XP?
don't know because I don't even think about the XP.
I think it's
I do like note that, oh my God, this is like really good XP for what it is, but
yeah. I think it's
yeah,
like
I
one
don't know
blood
what it
shard every
is. I just
900k.
think of hours like it's one blood shard every 4 hours, and that's
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
even reduced more with the new spell, which is going to make it like quite a bit faster. It goes from, I remember it goes from over 800 picks per hour to 900 picks per hour, which is
Damn.
pretty significant.
Yeah, it
So if you
is.
want to divide like 5,000, which is the drop rate, by 800, like it's, or even at 800, it's you actually get two blood shards every 6 hours, but at 900 picks per hour, it's you get two blood shards every five and a half. So one blood shard every like 2 hours 45 minutes basically. It's pretty fast.
Yeah,
Um,
that is.
yeah, I would really highly recommend you thieve some virus, at least like get yourself like two blood shards and like sort of like ease yourself into it,
I have
cause
I have the
cause you're
one I have the one blood fury remaining in my bank. Just I was just praying that it would use onyxes so I don't have to fucking go back to Vires. It's just still
Oh,
sitting
dude,
in there
that's
with
so
like
dumb they haven't added that. Like that would
it's
be such a good idea
it's fine. The
for an
more I've
Onyx thing.
thought about it though, like seriously, the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? The onyx thing can come from somewhere else because to be fair, the blood fury is fucking OP. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
it,
Oh
it
yeah.
it probably shouldn't be a thing where it's just a buyable now for irons. Just sell chaos runes, get unlimited blood furies.
I know I heard a cold one like bitching about like how easy solo top became with Blood
It
Fury. And
it
it
kind
became
of
like
is.
it became a whole separate category of like, were you a pre Blood Fury in
Yep.
solo tobber, or were you a post Blood Fury solo
Yep.
tobber?
No,
I'm
it's
surprised I didn't hear him like bitching about that on the cast. I guess you guys just didn't get a chance to mention the Blood Fury and top, but yeah,
it's
it's
pretty
really
busted.
crazy. It's like Soul Split like in a
It's like
way.
a raids 3. Like this could seriously that amulet of blood fury if it wasn't like a chargeable thing, if it was just like unlimited. Like imagine there was a new necklace that came out. There was no such thing as a blood fury, and then there came out this like unlimited blood fury. That thing would be worth like billions with just how fucking powerful it is. Like seriously, that's it's on par with like being a raids 3 item with how actually powerful it is. The only reason
Absolutely.
it's not used so much is because it costs money all the time to use it. But like it makes everything so easy. Like you can see so many Venezuelans now soloing Nightmare using a Blood Fury. I kid
It's
you not, they're everywhere.
it's insane, dude.
It's so easy.
But I do kind of like the idea that's like there's a skilling method like that like you get something worthwhile out of it.
Yeah, and that's the reason why like I'm okay with it, but that's the reason why I'm kind of okay with them not making the Onyx thing a rechargeable thing for the Blood Fury because
Yeah.
it does become just a buyable for irons. Just go buy Chaos Runes, go sell them.
At the same time, like pretty expensive too. Like like I don't know, like
It's
gives
only
you that
3 mil.
trade-off
I
of
mean,
are you gonna really spend that much for like an hour or 2 hours worth of Blood Fury when you could be like charging your scythe and using like
Yeah.
Sanguinisty.
No,
Like
that's a good point, but I guess that's the
it
one
is
thing I
it is
thought
a
of.
trade-off. But yeah, like I don't even know if that's something I would do. Like I think because like I like money and or like I like getting like GP alkables still. I think I would even continue to spend the time just thieving still because like I'm passively saving like X amount of GP per hour, and GP isn't really something that you can like actively grind out. Like like uh what honestly like Vorkath is like the fastest at like 1.7 mil per hour. Uh, and then
Is
there's
that
stuff
it?
like air orb charging. Yeah, there's well
1.7 mil an hour.
used to be Revs used to be really good, but not
Yeah,
anymore.
revs used to be crazy stupid. If you got like off hours and you got like full protection, you were making like
Yeah,
7 mil, 8 mil, up to 10 mil an hour.
bonkers GP.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. But yeah, I don't even think it's something I would use, but it would be a cool Onyx sync, from a main perspective. Like, but yeah, I do agree there should be Onyx sync, and maybe blood shards aren't the way to go. Maybe there is something, or just like I don't know, like grades 3 pitches, like maybe something uses Onyxes, or your Elder Maul proposal, like that would be really fitting because Tecton literally already drops Onyxes. Like it makes sense thematically, so
Yeah.
something they
No,
could easily add
I'm
to the
excited to
Elder
get
Maul.
that video out. Just it needs to be just edited very well so it can appeal to like Reddit, you know? Like that's the main
Yeah,
thing. I need to make like Swampletix
yellow
quality.
text, dude,
Like
black background.
no, no, yeah, like, but I need like explosions and shit. Like, have you seen Limpword's new like series? He's like this one chunk extreme Iron Man that killed 500,000 men and women
500,000 men. I like
and
that.
women. No, it's
True.
yeah, it's like,
We don't discriminate based on gender here on the Sae Bae Cast.
yeah, no, it's just like as long he has explosions in his video. So if I can add some explosions, I think we're
Some
good.
Michael Bay sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Just Elder Maul. Make Elder Maul great again.
No, but like I'm excited because there is some other ways to get that Onyx sync as well as helping the Elder Maul. Um, I want to move on to Box Terrier's tweet. He says, and this is a kind of a big one. Thoughts on new content often being less abusable than old content, tick manipulation, drift net, aerial fishing, can't red click and nightmare fight, etc. It's the
Yeah,
same
the
thing
way
with like
they
Volcano that came out. It's like
the,
they just
yeah, the way they come out with content is it's like airtight. Like you can't manipulate it at all. You had a pretty good rant on dense essence block mining
yeah, it's
where like
bad.
you get punished for trying to take manipulate at all. Like you're like how restricted it is. Your character literally has to be there like the whole time, and if you
Yep.
miss, like if something happens, like you just don't get the block at all. Like crazy sort of
It's it's
just skill
it's this
checks on it.
like it's this like obsession with making XP rates that they pull exact. It's like this weird obsession they have now where it's like if things aren't pulled exactly the XP rate they say, it's like flawed. And so they need to make every possible um it's just like any possible abuse that it needs to be checked at. So instead of like making it so like in Winter Todd, for example, like Winter Todd, they've made it so every single action has like a 2 to 3 tick delay just to make it positive that you cannot be tick manipulated and to make it positive that rates cannot be any higher, which is so stupid. Like I understand what they're trying to do, but it makes the game so dull and it makes the game feel laggy and unresponsive.
You
More
got a good point on how just
yeah.
gross feeling it is fletching at Wintertote, and then you get interrupted, and
It's
it
awful.
just feels gross. Yeah, it just doesn't feel good.
It's
I don't know
awful.
what
The
else to
whole
say.
thing is just this gross lag. It just feel like RuneScape already
Yep.
has that lag where it's like the just you're based on ticks, but then you add on top adding an additional like 2 to 3 just to fletch something like god damn it, dude.
Like I don't know. I don't get why. Like why not give us the opportunity to tick manipulate dense essence blocks? Like if you're gonna do that, like consider that like if you craft blood runes for example, like and you're wearing full graceful, like you just barely get your run energy back.
Yep.
By mining the dense essence. And think about how that goes away if you're going to mine it faster. Like you're going to be doing walking if you don't bring like sweets. God forbid, imagine bringing sweets for blood rune crafting.
Or just
Uh,
yeah, the ring of endurance would definitely get a
like
lot more use and then bringing
oh
stands.
yeah. Shout outs Ring of Endurance, best in slot for crafting bloods. Really nice item. Um, But yeah, like why can't we tick manipulate dense
because
essence
they've
blocking? It would be
pulled a
OP.
certain XP rate and they can't like touch and like, and of course it would need balancing. If you could just straight up 1.5 tick the dense, that would be absolutely extreme XP rates. Probably get over 100.
1.5 ticking would be crazy. I don't even think it would be that like strong compared to something like lavas. Like
Nah,
it still wouldn't be that
I
strong.
don't know,
And
man.
I
Is
know
it? Isn't
you
dense
do
essence
hate
9 ticks? If you were getting two every 3 ticks, like
yeah, it'd be crazy
that'd be
faster. But I think a lot of the time you do spend is running to the altar and like the dark altar and stuff. I know you actually hate ZARC, like what it did
fucking
to
hate
the
it.
game. Uh,
I hate the chaos altar more though. That's like occupied my mind way more recently.
Oh, the Chaos Altar is absolutely broken. Like that needs to get toned down big time. Like
Yep.
50% bone save, like drop that 20% bone save
Drop it to
because you're still
10.
getting like 25% of like more XP
Yeah.
from your bones.
I would drop it to
Like think
10.
about that, 25% more XP, like that's a lot more fair than doubling your XP per bone. That's
Yeah.
crazy. And you don't even need like Marintils or anything. Like you just
Yep.
go there, you
Yep.
three item. Like it's not like you're risking anything. You just that's it. You just run to the altar, suicide, repeat. It doesn't add anything to the game. It just makes the skill frustrating because you get PK'd for like your 25 bones, and yeah, it's awful, absolutely awful. Like I'm stunned that something like that isn't even like being looked at or addressed.
Yep. And
How
it won't
strong
be
it is.
because like it's just and you that's the sad part. I want to get onto the Archaea spellbook eventually because they talk about this new prayer method, but it's like prayer methods would be so beautiful to release into the game if the Chaos Altar wasn't a thing. But because the Chaos Altar is a thing, adding more prayer ways to train prayer is just it's just like it's
Easy
just
skip.
unneeded. It's like, dude, it's prayer is already so fucking fast all of a sudden and so easy to do that just adding more to it is just gonna make it's like the whole skill is just so easy. Prayer is just so easy now. It used to be such a big deal.
Yep. Shoutouts to TN on RS. I think is his name. He was the first to 99 prayer, and he killed a lot of green dragons.
Oh
He had
my
to
god.
really work for it. Like I don't even
And
remember how
Lelador.
I got 99 prayer. I just got it like over time.
Yeah, no,
Just
Lelador had like 30 something mil prayer all through green dragons and
that's
traditional
wild.
Marintils and god,
Talking about devaluing grinds, holy shit.
it's bad. And I never think it's too late. People are like, "Oh, it's too late for that. People have already abused it." No, it's never too late to get rid of just absolutely busted shit like that. But I going back to Box Terrier's point where it's like they're releasing new things, dude. I remember making rambles like rambles 1 through 4 was talking about the new day alt mine that was coming out. I was certain it was another thing about the example I gave of Trump and warding coming out and shit. I was certain it was not going to be tick manipulatable. I was just certain about it. It's like there's no way that it's going to involve old school mechanics and be abused with tick manipulation. But lo and behold, man, like they fucking pulled through. I was so impressed that you could actually 1.5 tick that mine, actually put in a ton of effort and get ton of reward from it. I
I
was so
agree,
impressed.
totally agree. It's healthy for the game. You can either choose to sweat it or you can AFK it for like half the speed, but
Yep.
it's like stupid easy to AFK it. Like both methods are really good and really strong.
I love
Um,
the day out mine. I just wish it could give
yeah,
clue
me too. I
geodes.
loved it. I love Dale in general.
Yep.
It makes rune crafting a lot better.
I love it. Great update. But what do you think about like future updates not really including old school mechanics? I feel like the J mods nowadays, the ones that we have, play enough and they're aware enough of the community, not trying to disrupt too many things. And I feel like there has been at least kind of a voice for not removing tick manipulation and seeing firsthand how poorly like just how Winter Todd feels and Dense Essence feels. Like I feel like the J mods are aware enough and just competent enough to keep including those that old school charm into things where you can then where you can tick manipulate and at least I hope
Shoutouts to Mod Arcane, Mod Husky.
they're awesome.
Holy fuck, dude. Like when we originally like it was just like I think when Chambers of Zarek came out it was like basically like Kieran Ash like Ghost was I like Ghost. He was a good artist. Like we didn't really have many like J mods at the time, but we did have a handful of good J mods. I was so scared when we started getting more J mods. Like, okay, they're gonna be like, like they're not gonna be nearly as good as Mod Kieran. And then we got like Mod Arcane, who is so in touch with the high level community. Like
Oh
he
yeah.
really goes out and like on all the discords with the like Oblivion and stuff. Like he reaches out to them to talk about like stuff like combat achievements. Like he wants to make sure that combat achievements is a really good update for high level accounts.
So
And
glad.
it feels good that it's not just Reddit that's being like listened to. Like
Yeah.
like Mod Arcane has done such a wonderful job listening to the high level community and putting out updates that cater to them. Like who was it that did Sepulchre? Was that Husky?
Yeah. So
God, he
good.
did such a good job on Sepulchre. God,
Such a
like
good job.
Sepulchre is so good, man.
The only thing
Like
I'm still against the balancing of it with how much money you make and how much XP you get. I feel like the money could be toned down big time.
that is true.
But
That
we're
is
so
true.
used to it now that it's like any nerf people are gonna start like whining about. But like I feel like it is extremely OP, but it's
I'm just
so
glad that
much
something
fun.
like that has such a like it's like learning floor 5 for the first time for a lot of people is really tough.
Oh yeah,
Like
it
it's
was
a
tough
lot
for
of
me.
effort.
Yeah.
And then mastering Sepulchre to get those juicy XP rates, there's nothing quite like that in the game. Like
It's
so
beautiful, man.
satisfying. It really is beautiful. So I
It
don't
is
even
such a good
mind that it's
update.
like really good money on top of being good XP. It's just really really good rewarding skilling content, and it
It's so
I,
good,
I
man.
can't express enough how grateful I am for Sepulchre being in the
And
game.
you know what the best part of it is? That, or I can't say it's the best part, but something I was really nervous of was them making it too RNG. I really love that things actually stay pretty muscle memory. If you get good enough at
Hmm.
it, things don't randomize too much. They stay pretty consistent where you can know the timing. Like imagine this is what I was terrified of is like you go to a certain trap and like all of a sudden everything's off. Like the flames are off and you have to actually like fucking study when the flames are going off. But usually when you get like level 1 and 2, you know exactly what the flames are doing and if you've put
Yep.
in enough time, you just know when to click and it's beautiful. That's what I love about it. That they made sure that was working. Like the flames don't off tick, off center, where it's like some traps just become this pain to like
Oh
go through.
yeah.
They made it really nice. So nice.
Speaking of off ticking, this is a bit of a reach, but so God Wars minions. They used to have a 1 in 8 chance. It is 1 in 8. You can fact check me
Yeah,
on
no,
them spawning on the wrong tile, and they're like diagonally offset. Like, have you had that happen? I'm sure you had that happen. Do
oh,
you
and is it,
recall how frustrating that is?
yeah, and is it to, just to add on to that, is that to every NPC that it's a 1 in 8? Because I know Venenatis, if it doesn't spawn exactly with that crossbow method, it just gets obnoxious.
It's so scuffed, yeah.
Is it one in
Um,
eight for
so
everything though?
So the reason it's 1 in 8 is because NPCs every game every tick the game checks to see if the NPC should water or not, and it rolls like 1 in 8 chance. If it's successful, then they move, right. But that check happens before the monster even appears or even spawns. So if the check to wander happens on the tick that they spawn offset, and that is only true outside of instances. So where I was going with this, the new Iron Man instances for God Wars does not have that. So all the minions always spawn on the same tile every
No
time.
way.
I shit you not.
Is it amazing? Have
Go
you?
and solo some bandos
I
and
can't yet.
enjoy.
I can't until they change the purple suites. I can't.
Oh, from getting deleted when you
Yeah, I
die.
can't lose my purple
Oh
suites, and I
yeah.
tick heat, and I die a lot. So I need them to fix that, and they said they would. They said they'd make consumables
Dude,
go above your grave.
okay, so I wanted to try the Bandos instance on the first day that it came out because I'm like, oh my God, I can do Bandos on a good ping world. Like I can actually like play the
Oh
game without
my
like
god, that sounds
waiting for
amazing.
like 3 a.m. on an Australian world to do Bandos. God, it was so bad. But I tried it and I was like, oh my God, I'm not getting off spawns. And then I'm talking to GE Challenge about this and he's like, yep, this is the case with instances, all instances in the game.
Holy fuck, dude.
Holy
That
fuck, dude.
sounds
It's incredible.
amazing.
So
That
the
sounds
boss,
so much fun, man. I want to go
yeah,
to
it really
Bandos
is, dude.
now.
God, like me and G Challenge. Shout out to him. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I know he has a YouTube channel that doesn't have many videos, but he is making some videos, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's gonna involve some God Wars, and there's some new methods now that are
If it's
viable now that
guaranteed,
there's no
oh
off
yeah,
spawns.
dude, I can't
It's
even.
guaranteed.
Dude, I remember his 2-to-1 scythe thing that he does. If it's a
Yep.
guaranteed to always be the same timing, oh my god, dude, like the potential there for so many different things. And for your kiting method,
Oh yeah,
like
the kiting method is now bulletproof.
yeah, what the fuck? I didn't know that, dude. Oh my
I
god.
I might make a video like a another video on the diagonally kiting thing because there is a lot of
What
new stuff.
what's
Like
what's the best DPS if you could just have any weapon? What's the best if no defense reduction? What's the best weapon you can use at Bandos? Do you know that? Like is it
currently it's
scythe?
blowpipe.
Okay, but after blowpipe nerf, do you think it's still blowpipe with
I
no defense
actually
reduction?
um okay, after the blowpipe nerf it's scythe, like for sure.
Okay.
However, this is really interesting. Full Inquisitor mace is equal to scythe.
Shit, I gotta get that
Think
mace.
about that. Now this is like just the on paper numbers. So, I think Scythe is like 5.2 DPS, and then Mace with full Inquisitor is 5.2 as well. But the issue with Inquisitor obviously is that like you lose, like you're super squishy all of a sudden because the armor is like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like
I
blue
mean,
d'hide. It's
you're
so bad.
literally gonna tank. I mean, if you're tick eating though, and if you're gonna basically get hit by every range attack anyway, it's like doesn't really fucking matter what you're wearing.
I don't think you really need to tick eat with G challenge 2-to-1 shield flicking.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
think
no, I
you need
bet the
to,
two to
especially with
one is
Ellie.
very consistent. I don't have an Ellie,
Like, yeah,
unfortunately.
you profit food now at Bandos if you do it perfectly, which is cool. So you don't even need sweets. But I mean, you can still like do the sweet method and it's sick. But yeah, the G challenge optimization is crazy good.
I'm excited to see that. Yeah, no, that's oh my god, dude. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's so nice. It just leaves all this room for like optimization. Like the first kill of the trip at Bandos is pretty AIDS. But like once
Yeah,
you
yeah,
get
yeah,
into the
that's always
cycle,
been
like
the
it's
case.
just the same thing every time. Like if you're good at the game, like you don't, you know, like you're not gonna have to deal with any off spawns anymore. And I don't know if it's even like a good thing because it feels just so incredibly nice. Like the minions always
You
spawn
get a
at
good
the same
ping. You
time.
get a good ping world. No mains crashing. Like, oh my god, dude. Like that's crazy. It's actually gonna be fun to go for a bandit pet. It's not gonna be this torturous
Oh yeah,
bullshit where you're just hopping
oh
worlds over
yeah.
and over.
Yeah, if I didn't already have a Bandos pet, I feel like it would be a disservice to not go for it
Oh,
at this
I'm.
point because a lot of people identify me as just the Bandos guy at this point.
Oh my god, man, that sounds amazing. I wonder what they're gonna do, dude. Even Zammy's gonna be amazing because I don't do 5-0. In fact, I'm not. I think I've said it before. I'm not a big fan of running around and shooting monsters. It's just not. There's something about it. It's just not appealing to me. Just running around and avoiding all damage and shooting stuff.
I hate Sarah. Like
Yeah,
Tebow ruined
I
Sarah for me.
I just don't like it.
It's uninteractive at this point. Like you
Yeah,
just kill it. Like it just
and
dies. Like there's no skill at all
and
involved.
Zammy 5-0, I will admit I've never tried it, but it feels very much like Sarah. It's a little bit more, I guess you can add more elements to it, I guess, to make it a little bit more engaging. But it's like,
It's crazy easy.
yeah,
Like
no,
it's
it's I've seen
so
so
much
many
easier
people.
than melee flicking.
Yeah, but I love melee flicking, and I feel like if spawns are always guaranteed, I'm going to love Zammy because Zammy can get really obnoxious when the ranger spawns off and you have to like spend some time off ticking it again.
Yep.
Other than that, dude, Zammy's so much fun to melee.
It's actually incredibly fun.
It's so much
Like,
fun.
dude, I used to bring a single Guthix rest to Zammy, just in case my health fell between 45 and 50. Or sorry, it would be like 45 and 49. Like Krill's spec can hit up to 49, right? So I would bring that Zamorak brute, or sorry, the Guthix rest, just in case my health was 45, so I wouldn't risk getting spec. Like it felt so fucking satisfying to be good at Zammy. And the trips that I was pulling at the time when I was using Arclight, just it's just so fun. It's
It's
so
so
satisfying. It's
much
so
fun, and
fun.
you're on task, and you're just loving your
It's so
life.
rewarding. Like honestly, like if I was to, I don't have the Zammy pet, but If I ever like decided like, okay, I wanted to start doing Slayer again on my Iron
Yeah.
and
No. Oh, it
start going
sounds,
for pets like Zami
dude.
pet, like I would melee all of it because it's just so much fun.
Even Sarah, because I know eventually I want to go for all pets. Even Sarah, having no off spawns. Oh my god, man! Like
I mean, I don't even prayer flick at Sarah anymore.
you
Just
don't
pray
need
mage
to
and
either way, but like
just
just getting
win.
that. But even if like yeah, I mean you really don't need that. But I still like it because it makes it a little bit more engaging to prayer flick. And if it's guaranteed that you're underneath, like I don't know, I feel like you can because the ranger will always spawn in the exact same tile position. You don't even need to like stand under it or anything. You can just stand on a certain tile far enough away from it where it's
Yep, the
instantly off
drag
tick.
technique.
It's so amazing, dude. Oh my
And
god.
before, if you use the drag technique, fixing that was cancer. Like you'd have to
Yeah.
like run away from the minion to like off ticket at the right time, and it wouldn't even be the same fix every time because it could either like off spawn away from you or closer to
Yup.
you, and like you had to know like what to do in both situations.
Dude, this
It
sounds
was
this
rough.
sounds incredible. I wonder I wonder if GE Challenge is going to do anything about Arma cuz I would love to see just well, first of all, I want to just see some optimization with Arma in the first place without using chins. I would love to
Uh,
see it just Arma's so strange the way it works, where it like teleports you out and like shit.
so if you want the TLDR on Arma, it's pretty airtight. Like you can't really improve it as much as okay. So the thing about Arma is it's less of a less of a you get faster kills per hour rather than what you really want to try and optimize at Arma is just like how much effort each kill is because you could do T-bow with bulwark flicking, that's pretty easy. Um, and it's pretty good kills per trip. Like it works. But you what you can also do is you can like do T-bow one-to-one-ing Kree, like walking under it after every single hit, and praying against the mage minion while you're underneath. Like you can do that as well. And
Yeah, cuz everything's
like it is better kills per trip, but like you know how long it takes to kill Kriara with a T-bow? Even
it's
a T-bow, it
obnoxious.
takes ages,
I know. And you
and
can
it
get
knocks
such
you
bad
away,
RNG.
and like
The whole thing's just
God,
obnoxious.
it's really obnoxious. And then you have the chin method, which is so nice, but it has the disadvantage of okay, well now you got to catch black chins,
Yep.
and catching the black chins is an enormous grind. I
Dude,
know.
I
Sorry,
want
what's up?
I want them to well first of all I want the Hallie I want Hallies to be able to reach uh
Arma,
Arma
just
and I just
Crystal
want
Halley specking Kree in a mass. Imagine
dude
that.
like why can the Arma minion melee me but I can't melee it? Like what the fuck, dude?
I will say it's kind of sad that the Crystal Halberd can hit Zora, but it can't do any damage.
Yeah, what's up with that?
It'd be cool if you could bring like imagine you're bringing like the T-bow max range method, and then you just have like a max melee switch just for like Halley specking Zora. That'd be really
50-50.
fun.
Yeah,
50-50 on Zora.
that'd
But
be fun.
yeah, I guess they're just scared like, okay, we don't want to have people Halley specking Zora 50-50, you know? But it would just be like something fun. Like I like when there's options like that that aren't
Yeah.
necessarily good, but they're just fun. Like just fun to explore. Dude, I have freaking champion his name's Joker
Yeah, yeah, Joker.
nowadays champion OSRS or Joker OSRS. Shout out to him by the way. He's PMing me like what you up to, and I'm just telling him that I've been on the Sae Bae Cast the whole time, and he's like, "Wait, still what the fuck?" Like
We haven't even scratched the surface. That's the
we
sad part.
really haven't.
Like
Like
we have
oh
so
my
many topics and we've covered like four. We have
we
like
covered four.
you know what?
Oh
Speaking
my
of
God.
Joker, he actually had those two questions that I'm looking at
Yeah,
right now.
let's get to them.
Go to it.
Let's just get to them really quick. I don't think they're going to be that long.
Um thoughts on Divine Spirit Shield and thoughts on a new hard group boss like pre-EOC next. I don't even know about next, but I'll talk about the Divine first. I was really sad to see the Divine fail, to be completely honest. And yeah, I kind of wanted to see it. I'll be honest, like I'm not exactly sure what it would affect in the game, and I never played RS3 to know. I also don't know what Nex is. I've like seen it. I think like twice on some
Next
random.
is just Zeros themed God Wars.
Yeah, that's what a cold one was talking
That's pretty
about.
cool. Like like the frozen door in the God Wars dungeon has been left alone for so long. I think we probably will need to have the frozen door opened at some point in this game. And I don't know, like they don't even it doesn't even have to be like Zero theme. Like they could add Guthix God Wars if they really wanted to. I don't know what kind of like content that would include, but yeah, like they could add a group boss to, behind the frozen door where you got to kill all the God Wars bosses, get parts of a key, and then you open the door and then you have access to a new group boss that's really hard and has like cool new drops. But I don't know about a group boss. Okay, other than the Leviathan, which we talked about earlier.
God.
Shout out sailing. Uh, that is a sick idea for a group boss that I really want to have implemented. But yeah, like we got Nightmare pretty recently. Like I don't know if a group boss would be a like another group boss would be a good idea. Like raids 3 first, of course. Um, so yeah, like with raids 3 like being rumored, like it's probably going to be raids 3 that we get next for high level PVM content. So I don't see a group boss like having much hype right now, but maybe ask that question like later down the line, 2022 when we do the Sae Bae Cast with Bcguppy round 2 1 year later edition, and
Round two
we'll see how we
trilogy,
feel.
because we're
Oh yeah.
we're on episode 1 of a trilogy right now, at
We
least.
really are, dude. Um But yeah, like right now, I don't see much hype in a group boss. Like the group boss that we're gonna get next is just gonna be the final boss of raids 3.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like that's that. And as far as the divine thing is concerned, like it already was pulled and failed,
Yeah.
and like it coming from Corp doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I mean,
It
well,
was
it,
it
it
was
does
pretty
because that's
selfish
where it
of
came
me
from
to want.
originally.
It was pretty selfish of me to want it in the game because I've only done like a 1100 corp, and I have two spectrals, and like being able to have that additional,
Double drop rate to get either because they're
yeah, it
basically
just
the same thing, really.
sounds really nice.
I think if anything, it would be nice to have a like an ornament kit to the Ellie that's like ridiculously rare from Master Clues or something that just makes the Ellie look like a divine, and then just make it aesthetically different, but it's the same set effect, so it has the Ellie effect still. Um, do you know what the divine did, by the way?
It was like a guaranteed damage reduction, but it takes your prayer away or something.
Yeah, yeah,
So what was
exactly.
what was the exact calcs? It was like 30% or 25% damage reduction, or
So I think Ellie is 75 or sorry, 70% chance to reduce damage by 25.
yeah,
I think Divine was like
100.
guaranteed 30% reduction or something like that.
And
Maybe 25 or something.
I
And then
think
it
30 sounds
drained
right,
your
but
prayer
yeah.
based on half of what damage got reduced. So if you got hit 100, like Darrocking, like you get hit by someone Darrocking in PvP, they like miraculously hit 100 on you, and you have a divine on, so that gets reduced by 30%. So you get hit a 70, and the damage that gets reduced is 30. So you divide that by two, and the divine would reduce your
15.
prayer by 15.
Interesting. So
The
what
prayer drain effect is the thing that kills it though, because right now the places that the LE gets used the most is Arma and Inferno, and in both those places, prayer is just critical,
yeah,
so valuable. There isn't really a scenario I don't think where Divine would even be better than LE, but I still want the
tanking
shield. Well, I
in the
mean, like
wilderness.
PvP, like PKers would absolutely seethe if Divine got added, which is probably why it failed the poll, to be honest.
Yeah.
Even with Sparkmax army, like shilling the shield, like he was literally paying people to vote yes to the Divine poll because he wanted it so bad.
Oh yeah. I remember
So
that.
funny, like all of Sparkmax kitties just getting paid to vote on the polls, dude.
That's fucking funny.
Classic voter manipulation 101. But yeah, like I like the green shield. Like I think it deserves to be in the game, just even as an aesthetic override to the Ellie in some fashion. Like maybe like a divine ornament kit from Corp that's untradeable, but just makes your Ellie into a divine, and it's just aesthetic, doesn't do anything new.
Interesting.
I'd like divine in that case. That would be nice. That'd be a nice addition. Look cool with the green shield.
I have no opinion on that. I wouldn't really care either way. I don't have that nostalgia that's like, ooh, that shield looks cool. I just thought it would be cool to have a new item that's just makes Corp a little bit less depressing. That's literally
Yeah,
it. That's my selfish
absolutely.
reason.
Corp sucks to do, dude. It needs to be reworked. Like it's actually cancer. The whole like alt specking Iron
I
Man like
hate
meta.
that I can't do
Holy shit.
corp because I don't have 2 alts. I can't do it.
Yep.
I refuse to waste 700 hours doing it myself. Like I just can't do that to myself.
I'm a moral gamer, so I wouldn't alt spec corp. Like I think that's going above the line of like what should be allowed in the game mode or not. Like I play for my own personal achievement.
Yeah.
Like I'm not too concerned about showing off to other people. Because at this point, like my account is pretty prestigious as it is. Like having an Ellie on it wouldn't really make that much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. So like I don't need like it's not something you need. Like
Yeah,
it's
no, it's not something you need, but the Ellie's always been that
I mean it's
iconic.
sick. It's absolutely sick. But
Yeah.
yeah, like okay, so
But that's the thing.
I'm gonna
I'm
go on
not.
a
I'm
or
literally
sorry,
not
go
going
on.
to do corp for like years as is. So it's like I don't know. I just and it's not like it's a competition to get sigils or anything. It's just the fact that like everyone else can do corp if they have 2 alts and 300 hours, and it would take me 1,000. Like, what's the point of wasting all those hours? Because it's like, yeah, I play
Yep.
for personal achievement, but it's like, yeah,
Like from a streamer perspective, like if you want to get to the epic Saracnus grind, like you could alt Nightmare, or you could even like because you're a streamer, you could have like simps
I
basically
know.
like one
Trust
plus
me,
one
I've been
you
talking.
Nightmare.
I'm talking them out of it. I know Disperse, one of my
It's
mods, is
so
like,
dumb.
he's like, let
It's
me
so
come
dumb.
alt for you. I'm like, just, I don't want to even just think about how nice this is gonna be, because then I'm gonna start getting addicted to it, and then I'm gonna start demanding that people fucking help me, and just the whole thing becomes this mess. Just let me just do this the slow way because it's not efficient. You need alt to be efficient, and just let me get my mace and just let me move on from here. I just hate it when things can be alted and drastically lower the amount of hours. Like literally,
It
if
sucks.
if a new Iron Man, like a 0 KC Nightmare Iron Man can do 12-minute kills at Nightmare with a bludgeon,
Yep.
like even faster if
No
they if
blood
their alt
runes,
is like loaded. You know.
regular trident,
Yep.
just
And that's
and you could just
so
have just
sad.
some dude, some account like full Inquisitor or not Inquisitor, Justiciar like Mace Ellie, just like AFKing basically, just improving your kill speed by that much. Like it's wild, but yeah, like personally, like it doesn't bother me too bad because like I don't really like I don't really play to compete against other people. That's the thing. Is like I feel really bad for the people who like try to make like the sickest Iron Man they can, or even like the 200 millers where they have to alt.
Yep.
Like they have to alt to remain competitive on the high scores. Like you're not gonna get rank one Iron Man playing self-sufficiently, even
Yep.
though it's a self-sufficient game mode. Like
So
you can't.
sad, by the way. I hate that. I
That's why I
hate.
like to play for my own like achievement.
I am a competitive person. The one thing, the beauty about how I play now is because I'm obsessed with clues. That clues are not really altable. Like jellies are the only like truly altable thing that would really speed up like hard clues, for example. But the fact that Saracnus gives 0 time hards and Saracnus is really unaltable in a way, it's
Yep.
just so beautiful. I just really pray to God that they don't ever fuck up clues to the point where it's just something altable and just I don't know. I hate it
Dude,
when things are altable.
one day people are gonna get elites from Dragon Imps. Imagine that, like just having a simp army collecting
Here's
EV imps, and that's how you get clues.
here's the crazy thing though about Dragon Imps is it would take 50 Dragon Imps to be on rate for an elite clue. And if it takes a minute to get to each spot, let's just say a minute and then to open it, like, well, open it obviously instantaneous, but like just unless every single spot takes less than a minute to get to, it still take about 50 minutes of like actual time to like get an elite clue. And Saracnus is 1 in 70 minutes and you're getting a hard clue. So it's like,
That is true.
even if
That is
you
very
had
true.
unlimited scouts at all times, it's pretty, it's really not that crazy. I used to think, oh, Dragon Imps are literally 0 time, but they're not really 0 time. It still takes time out of your, you know, gaming to
Absolutely,
go
yeah.
and get it.
Fair point.
Especially when they're like fucking cock blocked by River Lum. Dude, there was a lucky imp. There was a lucky imp that was scouted by one of my viewers. And I was seriously, it was trapped in the river for like 20 minutes. I just kept looking. I was trying to get it out, but it was just, I finally it got out. But it was about to despawn, dude. It was terrifying.
You looking forward to a Dark Lure?
What? What's that? Oh wait.
Do
Oh
you
wait.
remember
Wait.
what
Wait.
Dark Lure is?
Is that the Arceus thing?
It's another Arceus spell.
I need to
We've
save
been
this.
talking about it like the whole cast, and we haven't even gotten to it yet. Like for
We're
real.
so here's the thing, man. Like we're pushing 4 hours right now. We need to like. We're actually gonna make a part two. For those
Yeah,
listening,
I think this is gonna be a part two kind of.
it
Well, and
has
it is
it
like,
has to
oh
like
yeah,
like I don't
like
even know if because Arceus, dude. I want to get into this like deep, but like
yeah, I
I'm
agree.
scared to even touch it right now because we're gonna go on for another 2 hours. And it's gonna be the 6 hour thing. Like, here's the thing. I'm genuinely considering making a part two this week. Like before.
I would be down for that.
Like, would you even be down for like tomorrow? I'm thinking like
Oh yeah, I would be down.
because we can like wrap this up here at like a 4 hour mark and make another 4 hour one tomorrow.
I mean, if anything else, it gives me shit to do on my iron because I literally cut every ruby, every diamond, and I have no raw sharks. Like
Beautiful.
I'm like I just ran out of sharks. I don't know what to do with my life now. Like
Yeah. No,
dude,
it's kind of
there's only
nice.
so much lovakite you could mine, you know.
Dude, I don't even know how many I've mined so far. I've actually it's been hidden in my bank. Let me see how much I've mined.
You I guess you went offline, huh? I thought
500
you were online
five
and
hundred.
then you
Oh,
went
I
offline
turned my
somewhere.
private off because I got somebody messaging me. But
I see.
now I have 530 Lovakite already. I've just been AFKing it.
Oh my God.
Um
Uh, yeah, if we have any like final remarks before we get to the part two tomorrow,
let's
then
do that. There's so much in the Arceus I want to talk about and yeah, there's just so much and I feel like we could really hit it hard. But let's finish off part two then. Do you have anything you wanted to say? I mean, we can have closing remarks at the end of part two slash part
closing
three, but
remarks. I guess we could summarize the like what we've covered in the cast. Like okay, the big one, sailing. God, please in heaven,
please.
give us sailing.
But
Like
make it good. We need our
seriously,
ideas in it. I don't want some bullshit. I want, oh my God, dude, PvP sailing. Can you imagine?
we're gonna need some gentle tractor, level video from Sae Bae when he gets, world famous, surpasses Bodhi.
One day.
And he's gonna put out a banger of a video saying, "Hey, sailing is kind of like a good skill. Would be absolutely hyped to all hell. It would probably, it would make the game like it would double the player base because of how good it is, dude. Like honestly,
It would
it
be
would.
amazing.
Sailing would be unreal. Jagex God, please. Um, yeah, I don't know, oh, a frog prince. Um, yeah, we're gonna end the cast pretty soon here, but yeah, we're gonna have a part two, so stay tuned. If you like hearing us talk about, like all kinds of things in the game, I have like unlimited
We
ideas
haven't even touched
on
the
new
spreadsheet.
content.
We only touched
We
one
haven't touched the
spreadsheet, too.
spreadsheets. Saebae's
God damn it.
gonna have false advertising if there's no part two
Yeah.
tomorrow
There's going to be a
on
part three probably the next day, too.
the spreadsheet, the part three on literally Thursday, dude. It'd be cool if like imagine like tomorrow is like Temperos Day. Like imagine just all of a sudden Temperos comes out and then we can start talking about
Oh,
Temperos
I
and
wonder, yeah.
yeah, there's gonna be a part two and a part three. Don't forget to, buy the Blu-ray the Blu-ray set with
Autograph
the blooper
Blu-ray.
reel. Autograph Blu-ray, dude. Yeah, to summarize, sailing epic skill, raids 3 hype, you know,
God Wars
the
instances are amazing, apparently.
God Wars
I had
instances
no
are
idea.
amazing. The equipment changes don't actually nerf Bulwark or Black D'hide, just make magic weapons more accurate.
Oh, yeah.
That's the blanket fix. Magic needs to get reworked. Um,
Fixed freaking Dragon Hunter crossbow, Dragon Hunter lance, arc
fix
light.
all that.
Yeah.
Even the T-bow, nerf
Yeah,
T-bow,
nerf it,
yeah, nerf this, nerf that, and also give us some buffs like Inquisitor set is
please. Let
cool.
Hamjoin
Like
get a max hit from an Inquisitor set.
oh
Why
yeah,
not?
there was some buffs in the thing that I posted the balance patch 2.0 version that that I haven't even gotten to. Like it includes buffs to like the ballista and to the like Torags. Actually, I reworked all of Barrows, but that's another topic. Um, but yeah, like Jagex, if you're gonna give us nerfs, you better give us buffs on top of it. Like give us things to look forward to, so that the community doesn't like actively despise what is essentially like the evolution of combat in OSRS. Well, it's not gonna be that bad, but
Yeah.
it's still gonna be pretty upsetting. Um,
There's just
yeah.
so much. Yeah. Like we are going to talk about dude, this is going to be a 12-hour fucking ordeal by the end. Like it's literally going to be 12 hours of this. So, listen guys, I think tomorrow is actually perfect to do part 2. So, stay tuned for tomorrow for a part 2. So we'll be like pretty much fresh. If I wait a week, I feel like we're going to almost like repeat things. So,
Yeah, keep it fresh. Like,
let's
well, we know what we've covered. Like, I
yeah.
summarized it pretty well, I think,
Yeah.
and with
Let's
your help as well.
plan for tomorrow for a part 2. So if you guys enjoyed this so far, stay tuned. Um, the Sae Bae Cast is going to also be on. It's now officially on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, as well as YouTube, obviously. So it would be really awesome if you guys could like sub to those, so I can see the numbers on my end. Just because so far we have like 3 subscribers on it, at least what I see. So pump those numbers up, boys. And
Sub to my boy Sae Bae.
yeah,
He deserves it,
any
folks. Shout out
primers
Sae
or
Bae.
YouTube subs too for free?
Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube. Click the bell. Sub on Twitch. Buy the T-shirts. Tier 3 sub for double babies per hour. You know what to do, folks. Buy
And
the Blu-ray.
thanks for the shout outs. Like it's just sometimes kind of awkward saying it for myself, but I'm glad I have you to sell out for
Yeah,
me.
I can chill it for you, so you don't have to, dude. It's a win-win scenario.
We are not the same people, by the way. This is not like BC Guppy's a real person, guys. In case you guys were wondering if this is like a
Dude,
clone
imagine
Sabe.
imagine scripting the whole thing and just
People are
like
like,
using a
"Who's
voice
BC Guppy?"
changer.
Nobody's heard of him, but he's just no,
Oh yeah,
no.
I guess this, before we end, this is gonna be like an hour long outro, honestly. But I will wrap this up quickly here. Yeah, I'm lesser known in the community. I do have a YouTube channel. You can follow it. I think I have been peer pressured into doing a Hallowed Sepulchre video soon. So I will be doing like a little ramble video on that. I may be doing an updated Bando's guide with diagonal kiting as
Hell
well
yeah.
if you're interested in that. That might come out. I mean, we'll see. Like I always say I'll do stuff and then I never do. But the Sepulchre video, I'm probably gonna make like it's gonna be like 30 minutes to an hour of me just doing Sepulchre, rambling on like how to do it. Shout out Satamari for peer pressuring me. I know he's just started doing Sepulchre and he's looking for advice because he heard that like I did it on my alt and I have some pretty good PBs. So yeah, shout out Satamari. And yeah, follow my YouTube channel if you
Yeah,
care. I do have a Twitch channel, but it's like I don't really stream. Uh,
I have your YouTube actually linked in like multiple videos, and I'll definitely have it linked here. Do you have any like I know you don't have a Twitter.
no Twitter.
Do you want to
I
link your
mean, honestly, like Bcguppy, dash or what's the number sign called? Just uh Bcguppy number sign 7189 if you want to PM me on Discord. Just add me as a friend. Like I am very active on Discord.
I'll put that
If
in the
you're interested,
description.
if you have any questions, like if you want to talk to me about anything at all, just shoot a DM my way. Like it doesn't hurt. And I look at just about all my DMs, and I don't have anyone blocked or anything. So literally, even if you think I have you blocked, you're not blocked. Just PM me if you have any questions, and yeah, I can give you a hand if you have any RuneScape related questions, or even yeah, just shoot me a DM.
Sounds good. All right, we will continue this tomorrow for part 2. So everyone stay tuned. Subscribe to the YouTube if you're watching this on there just to be notified. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you
Peace.
then. Peace.